boys. Chat, what is up? 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 Welcome back to the stream. We are here, baby. Day 11 of streaming every day. Oh, shit. Day 12 of streaming every day in the month of August. Hope y'all having a wonderful day. How y'all doing? Scale of 1 to 10. Where we living? Where we at? How we doing? Are we high up the scale? I hope. I hope we're high up. I hope we're climbing. It's a Monday, baby. If we are already at a 1, then what can we hope to achieve for the rest of the week? Let's lie to ourselves. Don't base it off what's happened. Base it off what you hope to happen. Fuck it, baby. If it's a 1, then let's just lie and say it's a 5. Anyway, chat, what is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream, y'all. Today we got a kind of an interesting one. Kind of an interesting one. I'm not going to lie. All right? How's Coots? Coots is doing great, bro. Coots is doing great. She's actually the best listener of all the animals. Because when it's bedtime, because we go to bed around like 12:45-ish every night. It's like when we start heading to bed and feed the animals and all that. When it's bedtime, I go over to Coots because she's usually chilling in one of her favorite spots. I tap her on the tum. I go, yo, bedtime. And she starts sprinting upstairs. She's always first one up. Dur's fucking trouble child. Gotta grab her by the mane. Come on, Dur. Drag Dur's on up. Swift only follows Cutie. If I said, Swift, come upstairs, please, there's a bomb downstairs. You will die if you stay downstairs. If Cutie's there, he dies. He accepts death with grace. So yeah, Coots is the best listener of the house. I mean, shit, sometimes better than me or Cutie. Up there waiting for us. Twitter right is like blackout. What the fuck does that sentence mean? How's Truck Coon? Truck Coon's doing good. You actually might see Truck Coon at the Beyblade stream that Cutie's doing this Thursday. Cutie's... Did I just leak that? Oh, fuck. Did I leak that? Oh, God. Thank God. She said it? Okay. Holy fuck. That was stressful. I did not enjoy that. Anyway, chat, what is up? The dude JB, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you for all the memberships. Hope you're all having a wonderful fucking day today. And today, folks, we got a big one. Because it was announced today that Donald Trump is being interviewed by Elon Musk on X, the Everything app. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Grok. All right. Please don't make me watch it. I can't be the only guy who's curious. But I understand. Look, I understand that this is 1, political, 2, American, 3, Donald Trump. All right? A lot of reasons to not watch. But I figured, look, it could be a little more fun. It could be a little more fun if we watch it with a bit of bingo. Because I saw Jack Films actually tweet this out. He said, gonna do some bingo during the Trump-Elon Goon Sesh today. Yes, you can get your own randomized bingo card if you join. There are more spaces than ones available. And I thought, look, what if we do a bingo board? We watch along. Let's be honest, Kamala's the worst. No, I disagree vehemently. Are you kidding me? You're looking at the blunt rotation of Trump, JD Vance and Kamala, and you go, she's the weird one. I disagree vehemently. But hey, she's a woman. Maybe that scares you. Me personally, as a man, I would not let myself be scared of a woman. Fuck, I can't open my Topo Chico. My delicious spicy beverage. Ow, fuck. Oh, bitch. Oh. Thank you. Kamala would ruin America? Dude, I see people who are like, if Kamala gets elected, I'm moving to Canada. Which is just as cringe as the people who said that when Hillary was going up against Trump. If Trump wins, I'm going to Canada. I'm fleeing the country. Flee then, bitch. Fuck I care about. Dip. Have fun in Canada. What do you want from me? Weak-willed. I'm American through and through, baby. I bleed red, white, and blue. When are you going bald? Bro. Chill. If you guys don't know, I already did the bet. I already did the bet because I shaved part of my leg bald. Okay? Legally counts. Legally counts. Hey, legally counts. This is Jack's Films. He's not even live yet. Jack, I want my bingo board. How do I get one? Oh, Bingo Maker. All right, generate card. Straight up lies, misogyny or bigotry, trans or pronouns mentioned. Trump calls it Twitter. Hannibal Lecter. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm not politically savvy enough to know what that means. Link? I got you. Wait, do I got you? Oh, I can't leak my link. I forgot. If I leak my link, you guys can fill it out for me. Whoops. Okay, hold up. I got to get my own link then. Trump talks about Hannibal Lecter a lot? What? Have I just been MIA this election cycle? That's a thing? All right, so this is the link if you want to make a bingo board. You guys can play along. If you'd like to make a bingo board, I believe all you have to do is click on this link. And then after you hit generate, you'll get a custom URL. This is a liberal board. That is correct. If you would like the right-wing board, you can find it over on Rumble. There should still be some available. Elon Musk sucks up to Trump. Heavy cringe. Trump calls it Twitter. Assassination attempt mentioned. Trans or pronouns mentioned. Trump doesn't answer the question. Aliens or unidentified something. What are UAPs? UAP. Unidentified flying object. Wait, why are they called unidentified anomalous phenomenons. Okay. A hoax is brought up. Weird mentioned. Interview cut short. Weird behavior. I feel like these are too similar. I'm going to reroll. I don't want two weirds. Unless it's impossible to not get two weirds. What?
Bro, can you make another clever video where you donate small streamers? That's in my opinion your best video.
Another clever video where I donate to small Are you talking about the one with Mizkif? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the one with merch? All right, I redid it. Misogyny or bigotry? Free speech. Donald Trump doesn't answer the question. Straight up lies. Crowd size mention. Weird mention. Trump calls it. Damn it, chat. Damn it, chat. That was a good board. Why'd you fucking. Sons of bitches. I leaked my link. I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Play bingo. Wait, no.
What?
I am personally inviting all of these enlightened centrists in chat to come with me on a paramotor ride over the pyramids. Smile, we could be pharaohs.
Y'all could be pharaohs. Young pharaoh. Young pharaoh. Okay. All right, I think we got it. Subscribe if you read this. All right. Chill. All right, boom, our bingo board. Okay, let's look through our bingo board. First pump Trump photo is shown a reference. Woke is mentioned. Elon wears MAGA hat or merch. Cybertruck mentioned. Hoax brought up. Trunk mugshot. Kamala mispronounced. I have to figure out how to pronounce it actually to be sure. Elon sucks up. General cringe. Elon tries a joke. Illegal immigration. Heavy cringe. Free space. Trump calls it Twitter. Nickname for someone. Sleepy Joe, etc. Weird behavior. Crowd size mention. Straight up lies. Interview cut short. Cancel culture. Hannibal Lecter. Weirdly racist undertones. Aliens or UAPs mentioned. Weird mention. Misogyny or other bigotry. Honestly, this sounds like a Ludwig and Squeak stream. I'm not even gonna lie. we go 23 for 25. We don't really talk about Hannibal Lecter, but bro, we do hit a lot of these in a Squeak stream. Hit a lot of them. There's 2 weirds again. Are there? Weird mention. Weird behavior. Fuck. Bro, I'm getting so boomed. Give me a board without 2 weirds. Weird. I maybe there's only 25 things. You know what I mean? It might not be possible. Steak, thank you for the $10. Lame. Thank you for the 10. Steak? Yeah, it might not be possible. So it yeah, it might not be possible. Fuck it, we'll just stick with this one. Fuck it, baby, we ball. All right, how do you watch this? Oh, it's live? Oh, fuck, are we in it? What are the chances that Twitter's just crash and it won't work? Oh, apparently really fucking high. Apparently really fucking high. I'm pretty sure Twitter just crashed. But that should have been on the fucking bingo board. Twitter instantly... Okay, wait. Nah, Twitter's crashed to shit. Twitter's crashed to shit. Twitter died? Already? Already it died. Are you serious? We didn't even get into it. Bro, Twitter's infrastructure is not... I don't know why they expected... I don't know why they expected Twitter's infrastructure to be able to do this. It must be on YouTube somewhere,
this
right?
Bring together the brightest minds
from
from academia and industry to ensure America stays at the forefront of AI development, while also addressing ethical concerns and potential risks. Why are these projects so important to me?
Or am I getting scammed?
Because they represent the kind of bold, forward-thinking initiatives
I'm blocking their QR
that
code.
can propel our nation.
This is literally a scam, Ludwig. Fuck. Fuck. I'm too old to fall for scams. Shit. I fell for the scam, bro. Bro, I can't listen to it.
Had been hacked by...
Could mobilize resources.
155,000 people are watching this, by the way. YouTube is the most scammable website in the world. How do I listen to it? Hacked, already lost all my apes. Bro. Okay, let me go to YouTube Live. Surely somebody is streaming this on YouTube, no? Surely somebody's streaming this on YouTube. Just, I need like a clean feed.
Live, it's starting soon. But I don't even know if it's...
All right, it's not available yet.
It's working for anybody is my question.
It's not available yet. Is it available? What? It's
Brian,
not available yet.
Definition for bald. Having a scalp wholly or partly lacking hair. Last time I checked, legs are not a scalp.
No, but you can shave anything bald. You never shave your balls bald?
As this should prove to be quite entertaining.
Jack's
take a look at the
Films.
bingo card. Take a look at your bingo card. You may
His isn't working.
Want to see those ads?
He's plugging
All you need
ads.
to do is subscribe.
Bro, every time I click this space, it just dies. It just.
I think everyone's having the same issue. I think it's not working right now. It's not working right now. It's just not working. Bro, who is surprised? Who is surprised at the Twitter infrastructure after they 1/10 their staff isn't functioning? I can't even open Twitter anymore. By the way, chat, hey, while I got y'all here, this is what I see right now. This is what I see. Donald Trump, spaces, details not available. Hassan, sir, I requested to speak on behalf of red-blooded patriotic Americans, but the Elon website won't let me. L plus ratio bozo. Ain't he Canadian? Sit, Canada! Sit! You don't even crack top 10! Our fucking swimmers gap your entire country! The state of California gaps your entire country! You're not at the table! Alright? You got a kids table next door, don't fucking come here and tell us how to operate our country! Amen. Anyway, you're French? Bro, I'm born in the US of A. I don't know what to tell you. I'm only French when it makes me seem swag. I'm only French when it makes me seem a little more swag. Every other day of the week, I am American. 1000% American. While I got y'all here, chat, hey, the events for Streamer Games have now been announced. This weekend is a Streamer Games, August 17th and 18th, featuring 8 different teams. The players and the teams will be announced soon. We've had to do a few shuffles. But here are the events. We've got the Tungsten Cube Toss, the 99-meter dash, the 1-meter dash, volleyball, relay race, tablecloth pole, tug of war, gymnastics, dunk tank, Simon Says, game of bowl, distance throwing, water bucket challenge, and the pentathlon. Should be fun. It's a mixture of like actually sweaty events, but also like events that, you know, would be kind of fun to do. I'm not just trying to have Lily Pichu go out there and have a horrible time, you know what I mean? That's not the goal here. Minor spelling mistake. Fuck it. I'm an English major. I'm allowed to make spelling mistakes. You know how it is. Thank you for the $5. Evan, since Twitter is broke, does this count as interview cut short? If they don't start the interview, then yes. However, it will also be the only bingo thing played. So... hold on. Let me farm viewers real quick. Twitch countdown timer. When does the event start? Great question. 1 p.m. Pacific. It'll end at 7:45 Pacific each day. So 1 p.m. to about 7 p.m. each day. About 6 hours each day. All right, check this out. This is how you farm viewers. Boom! You can join. It works now. Does it? Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Clips? All right. I see Donald Trump is in. He is the host and he's playing radio music. He's playing radio music right now. Who else is in this bitch? We got Elon Musk. We got Pulte. He's the guy who gives away money. Yeah. We got Marjorie Taylor Greene. We got Jersey Jerry from Barstool. Some CNN guy. Who is this a VTuber? Okay. I don't recognize any of these blue checks. I'm not going to lie. I guess it's kind of embarrassing that it shows you as a watcher. I think that's an aspect of Twitter or X, the everything app, as I should call it, that is actually kind of cringe. Because, like, I bet, you know, I don't know who's a good example. I bet, like, fucking Justin Timberlake might want to know. I bet Ryan Reynolds might want to know what's going on. But if Ryan Reynolds' big-ass fucking face and checkmark comes up, it changes the line. It changes, you know what I mean? It changes the vibe. You can hide yourself? There's a chat room. Oh, this is a bad idea. That was a horrible idea. Okay, no, we're good. This is gonna break the internet. Yeah. Okay, bud. It'll break Twitter, but to be fair, I think about 50,000 people breaks Twitter. It's not working for me. I want to listen, but it says the space is not available. The space is broken. This will go down as one of the greatest interviews in U.S. history. Can we not give more screen time to DJT? I don't think this is the same thing. I think you're being a little ridiculous. Personally. I don't find this to be like platforming groomer, or someone who like shouldn't. Or this is the presidential nominee for the Republican Party. Like factually, that is the case. One of the two people on the bill. So it's like you can go na and hide in a corner, but like there's gonna be two people up, and I feel like making yourself less informed is not a good thing. You feel me? I feel like listening to what someone has to say, who is the presidential nominee, is a little different than like, you know, me playing Dr. Disrespect VODs in platforming Dr. Disrespect. Trump impression for a $10 dono? Yeah, I do have a crazy Trump impression. That is true.
The late great Hannibal Lecter. Why are you all laughing? He'll have you for dinner. He will have you for dinner.
Okay, what is this Donald Trump Hannibal Lecter? Hannibal, I don't get it. I don't know what this is. Why is Trump obsessed with Hannibal Lecter? A complete timeline. What the fuck? In July 2023, he says that's like Silence of the Lambs stuff. In October, he said, you know why I like him? Because he said on television, I love Donald Trump. What? We got him coming into this country now. What is any of this? Trump compares migrants to Hannibal Lecter. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? Trump asked the crowd once he started in on his false insane asylum's migration claims. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about to have a friend for dinner. As this poor doctor walks by, I'm about to have a friend for dinner. But Hannibal Lecter, congratulations, the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Is that real? Is this real? All right, he's just really about Hannibal Lecter. Okay, cool. Chill! Chill, man. Request to speak. Manage space. How do I manage this space? Oh, good, it's a loop. I used to work at Apple Care, bro. They had one song that they would play on loop. And honestly, kind of a banger. But it got on my nerves. Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. And it goes down, down, down like a burning ring of fire. I'll say I worked Thanksgiving. I worked Black Friday. Excuse me. I worked Thanksgiving into Black Friday once at Best Buy, like 10-hour shifts each day. And then obviously the whole holiday season. I never got sick of the Christmas music. I know people who work retail who get sick of that shit. I would come into work every day being like, Feliz Navidad again? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I was bumping that shit. I kind of liked it. Can you do a little karaoke before the debate starts? It's not a debate, really. I don't think it's a debate, at least. I don't know how to turn it up. Is there a way to turn it up in this? I can just turn up my specific thing. Sing Conte Partiro. I do love that song. Cuando solo sogno l'ore. Oh, man. I need a good application. Do you have any advice? The game's changed, man. I feel like applications aren't read by humans. They're read by AI. I don't know. Lie. Show the bingo board. Here's our bingo board right now. I guess we got time. We could change it. I wouldn't mind shifting it up. What's the app for the bingo board? Bingo Bach? Bingo Bake? Bingo Baker? We could make one. We can make one right here. All right, we got kind of a banger. Easy. That should be a free space. Okay, we'll throw in weird. Cybertruck mentioned. Aiden Ross mentioned. Glazing occurs. Woke. MAGA. rigged. Trump calls it Twitter. Kamala mispronounced. Am I pronouncing it right, by the way? Elon lol W. It's Kamala. Crowd size. What else? China. Mentions. Talks about his ear. What would Elon talk about? Compliments Putin. Awkward moment. Cringe. Are those two similar? I'll just do cringe. Interview cut short. Elon posted on X, the everything app. Really? Did he? I can't load it. There appears to be a massive DDoS attack on X, working on shutting it down. Worst case, we'll proceed with a smaller number of live listeners and post the conversation later. I got it open. Boot it up, baby. Golf mentioned. Fake news. YouTube roasted. Makes fun of YouTube TikTok. Trump nickname. Technical difficulties. We'll make this one our free space. Olympics boxing. Bad joke is Elon LW. Hannibal Lecter. And then question marks. That's pretty good. All right, we got 5 extras. Town Square is funny. Town Square, AI. Straight up lies. Crypto mentioned. Radical left. All right, I'm down. Boom. Radical left. All right. If you want to play along, click here and generate. Thanks to Jack's Films for the idea. All right, new pin message chat. I'm gonna lose my shit if the timer's correct. It's looking good, I won't even lie. Actually, maybe what I do is instead of... Maybe what I can do is, okay, dupe this. And then I go, hold up. Am I good at my job or am I bad at my job? Let's find out right now. Okay, I do this, right? And then if I do this, this could work. I know you can't see what I'm talking about and I sound like a crazy person, but just hold. Okay. How's this? Kind of a nice overlay. Apparently, the system was tested with 8 million users concurrently. Damn, that's crazy. And it died with 200,000 in it. There appears to be a massive DDoS attack. You know what's funny is even through it all, even when like he's at the absolute fucking most stressful part and his website is barely functional, he still calls it X the Everything app with the X logo. He's really committed. He even uses the X logo. I call BS on DDoS attack. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not. We tested the system with 8 million concurrent listeners today. I personally wouldn't be surprised, you know what I mean? But I would also not be surprised if 200K people just breaks the system and they didn't prepare for it. Let's see how they clutch up. Let's see how they clutch up. Where do we get a bingo board? Brother, it's the pinned link. I know me and Elon would be getting big 15 minutes into the sesh. Me and Elon goon sesh. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said that out loud. I apologize. Honestly, I apologize. Nah, you guys shouldn't have heard that. That was... Do Mario 64 runs while we wait? I can do the daily crossword from New York Times. From liberal media New York Times. Throws in the mix. Throws in the mix.
My
Plant
fellow
life.
Americans, it is me, Donald Trump. I wanted to come here to personally thank Ludwig for his viewing of this talk with Elon. I hope you like my suggestions. God bless America. E.S. Ludwig, go bold.
Wait, letter before 8. Okay, Alpha, Pulitzer Prize winning historian, did some chauffeuring. I drove all there mentally. Like a designer bag with the company name misspelled. That's confusing. Throws in the mix, ads, plant life. I don't know. Informal term for avid supporter of Kamala. I don't know. Simplicity? Wait, what the fuck is this? All there mentally. S blank N blank. I don't know, man. This is fucking me up. All there mentally. Like, he's of sound mind. Is ads right? That's the question. Throws in the mix. Okay, alpha's right. Letter before beta. Drove. Did some chauffeuring. You drove around. Apron is right. Okay, I feel good about that. What's a supporter of Kamala Harris? I don't know. Shave? Shove? Shove? Shivs? Simplicity. Like a designer bag with the company misspelled. I mean, you can misspell it any way you want. Gucci. I misspelled it. Look, I misspelled Gucci. Like, what do you fucking... Plant life. Blank L blank R blank. Flora. That's flora. Probably like Doris or Dory or some shit. Sane. Bag whose name is misspelled. What? I got no clue what they're talking about. I don't know. I don't know. Is it shove? Shove? Is it what's it? Avid supporter of Kamala Harris. I have no idea what they call themselves. I feel dumb. I'm going to assume this lady's name's Doris. Like fashion. Bro, this is fucking me up. Like a designer bag with the company name misspelled. Simplicity. Vase. Case. Waste. Ace. Ease. Like a designer bag with the company name misspelled. Like a fake bag. What the fuck is a knife? A chive? A Kive? Kive? Kiev? K-Hive. K-Hive. Oh. Bro, I thought that's when you did too much ketamine. You go in the K-Hive. I didn't know that was a thing. Penis. Shirt. That's insane. How about swill? Okay. You're making it hard on me. I get that. How about hear me out. No. I'm trying to play on hard mode here, so I'm not trying to use words that have been used, and I want S and I in it, but there's not that many words I can think of. Smile. Donald? Donald J. Trump. It's me, Ludwig. Do other people hear it? It started? I'm here. He muted again? Donald! What a bait, that little tease. All right. Well, apparently there's 859,000 people in. What the fuck just hit my For You page? Okay, he's back to muted, and there's no music now. And there's no music now. Really? And Elon left? He said no and left? What? Skirt.
I love Ludwig. I'd kiss Ludwig's forehead if I had him in front of me.
What the heck? What did I just hear? Skibby. What?
I love you, Ludwig. Come to Papa and let me give you a big smooch.
Okay, no, I actually did hear it the first time. I just was hoping to ignore it. How about like a smick? Is that a word? Oh, it is. Okay. K has to be here, right? Ski. What the hell is this word? Ski. Skids. No, it's not right. Skib. Skiff. Skid. Skiz.
Skiff. Skiff. Skiff.
A shallow, flat-bottomed, open boat. Okay. I don't know what that is. Let's go to a real man's game. New York Times connections. Okay, we have to make 4 groups of 5, 4 groups of 4. David Bowie, Queen the band. Okay, last names of lead singers. You have David Bowie, you have Freddie Mercury, you have probably Throne and probably Butcher, if I had to guess. All right, that was wrong. We got, damn, this one's hard, low key. Butter, gold, yellow bricks. Head, king, lead, perhaps queen? Or throne? What? The head? It's not king. Wow, what the fuck? Okay, I'm being dumb. Queen, king, full twin beds. Billy Butcher. Billy John. Billy, no. Okay. Tin, gold, mercury, lead are all elements. That's an easy one. Butterfly, butter. Interesting. Oh! Butcher, butterfly, Bowie. Butter. Knife. Head, John, throne, can. What? Head, John, throne, the can. Toilets. Okay. All right. We get there. Oh, Elon Musk is back.
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But
turn it up.
As this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say.
A lot of ops.
And but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind. So you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation? So, um, honored to Donald. Great to speak. We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Oh, it's
Well,
glazing.
thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that
What?
your actions after that.
I personally would not call the assassination
inspiring.
incredible thing. Personally, me personally.
Instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, "Fight, fight, fight!" And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is.
I knew the ear was coming.
A very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very. I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot
every
less than
bingo,
this,
I'll give to
where
100
you feel
subs.
It's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter. And so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was, for those people that don't believe in God, I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer. Now I'm more of a believer, I think. And a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle. And all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more
maybe
now.
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that's a sign,
It's an immigration sign.
You highlighted a serious
Do you have immigration?
Issue, and at that moment.
No.
That's right.
The bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle,
pull some Subway
which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who, a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, all right, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back, which is a nice thing to somebody to say, to be honest.
That's bars.
She's great. The family is great. and we raised a lot of money for them and
Hold
for
up, checking my Discord.
2 other gentlemen are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area,
Truth?
I
I don't
tell you,
know.
they were incredible. They saved the
I don't-
2. And,
I don't think he's
they were
lying about
really
that. That'd be
hit
crazy to lie
tough,
about.
both of them equally. And we thought my first question was because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, "How many people were killed?" Because we had a massive crowd there.
But he's just talking about the assassination attempt and the guy who died.
People, and there was
and
no
his
land.
family.
I mean, it was all people. So I said,
He has
"How
definitely
many
lied
people have
since
been
we have
killed?"
started,
because
but
I knew there were other shots being fired.
Sure.
And they said, "We don't know
crowd
yet,
size.
but some people have been badly hurt." And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter
he goes
was
into such
130,
weird specifics.
but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium.
It was a great shot.
And he saw the
one bullet, one shot.
Smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot.
I know
from
that's a
very
lie
far
because I've
away.
seen the video
And
of the guy,
if he
he's going
didn't
like
do
this,
that,
and then
Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. So
he did a rip good shot. You got to give it to
him because that's also a surreal. You know, he's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden, he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the.
I can't believe you're making me listen to this.
Saw the smoke, saw the
Look,
flame.
Hey, you're not wrong for thinking that
very
way.
far away. Obviously.
But God bless America.
He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have.
I didn't think it would be 15 minutes specifically about the assassination attempt.
Quickly, and
I didn't think that's what we'd be doing.
Approximately 5 seconds from long range, one bullet. If that didn't
You're giving Sniper Wolf level commentary. There is no substance being discussed.
A lot of
Let's just clarify. There's zero substance being discussed.
I mean, that's clearly, he was very confident in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination.
This is all about the assassination attempt and how good the shot of the guy who killed
pretty significant failings,
the assassinator was.
Elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems
damn.
crazy.
He's bringing up some conspiracy theories.
I think most people people are wondering how that.
But how did Secret Service let it happen?
Well, you know, I view it as 2 ways. There should have been nobody on the roof.
True.
There were people because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it, and she's screaming. That guy's got a gun. You know, you saw it probably. There's a guy up there with a gun.
I mean, it's like I guess. I mean,
I can't 2x speed. It's live.
Many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, basically people wondering by it, pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun. And they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem crazy.
Well, they're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up, and he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot. But, he was like pulling himself up.
Trump has a lisp.
And because of that, he couldn't.
I think it's just kind of like how old people speak.
And he fell down, actually very badly hurt his leg,
that's like
his ankle.
I feel like my grandpa talks
badly,
like that.
But he fell down. And he did, from what I understand, he did say there's a guy up there with a gun. And the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced.
I mean,
the
bro
shooter
is
to
78.
go maybe quicker.
Right?
He was supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would
78.
hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
It's not a long shot. The Secret
Dude, this is
Service
the easiest bingo of all
person had the
time.
long shot. He had a triple the
Yeah.
distance actually.
He's
So,
roasting the guy who tried to
it was
assassinate
a
him's attempt.
terrible thing. Look,
He's roasting how short of a shot it
it's
was and that he
hard.
missed.
I have to say this about the Secret
The
Service.
guy who
when I
shot me
went
is a
down,
pussy. Couldn't
and,
hit. He
you know,
couldn't
I
hit a
went down based
130-meter
on,
shot.
I think
What a
they're
pussy.
screaming, but other people also, because people
Little
saw this
bitch.
happen. You know, you had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean,
What does
if
question
a
marks
gun
mean?
goes off, the crowd
Yeah.
control
do you mean?
people showed us this.
Oh, if you get
When
question marks in
guns
your
go
bingo,
off,
it
and
means
does happen in
they're talking
stadiums
about
and a soccer
nonsense.
match or some kind of a match. Everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of
Yeah.
people get killed with those stampedes.
Sure.
We had
Sure.
more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games. and,
Okay, dude, the crowd was not that
nobody
big.
left.
The
You know, you
crowd,
had a small group
the
behind
crowd
us
was
in the
not
grandstand,
bigger
and that was full.
than a fucking
And
soccer
you look
stadium.
at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd
This
be
was not
running.
fucking
They
Camp
they
Nou.
saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down, and it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see,
How
you
many
had people
people
in
were
Butler,
there? Were not
as
that
far
many
as the eye
people,
could
were
see.
there?
And
Yeah.
How many
and a
people
lot
were
of
at
press,
this
too.
rally?
There were, many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it. So, sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that
It's
you
not
didn't
straight
have
up
anybody
lies
flee.
because
You didn't have
technically
anybody
my soccer
stampede.
stadium at my
Nobody.
high
And
school
there were
was
some people behind
2,000
me. They
people.
stood up and they're looking like,
So if he
okay, you
did
wanna
have 10,000,
you
that is
wanna have
more.
them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people
Sure,
because
sure.
it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down, but the Secret Service
Yeah.
guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and
Yeah.
these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, would jump. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now there was a lack of coordination. There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody.
Dude, they
that
gotta
building
move
should have
on
been
from
covered.
this.
And
Yeah, I mean,
that was
I
the
think
big
that's
thing.
like, I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite place, what if you?
I
so
feel
the
like
goal is to
Elon
assassinate,
Musk is
what's your
egging him
favorite
on.
spot? That building.
He's
The
like,
red
it
building
is
would be #1.
crazy
That
he
would've
got
been
up
the
on
spot.
there
It's like
though, right?
you can ask for a better
No.
location. It's like
No.
Like
that
me
would've been the
personally,
spot.
I don't know how they
You know
got
what
up
people
on
think
there.
is when the
Almost feels like
local
the Secret
policeman,
Service is in
who,
on
by the
it.
way, he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got
Yeah.
his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head. And when he fell down, again, hurt his ankle very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what
Yeah.
they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all
Tim,
planned
you gave me
out
some
with the
Subway
gun.
Surfers on the screen?
He ran to the site and he started shooting fast, and maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he
What's up with the
Yeah,
lisp?
but
I
that's
think it's
the
just
thing,
a
it would've
dog
hit-
shit
I
mic.
mean-
could have been a much
Yeah.
bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if.
This
if
sounds
you
like a
hadn't
phone
turned your head.
conversation.
So, like there was it was a very near thing.
It was
so,
a miracle. If I hadn't
um,
turned my head,
Yeah,
I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like you,
exactly.
I would not.
Yeah,
I would not be talking.
And he'd be talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right. We'd be talking from a
so-
different place.
What a
But,
crazy rebuttal.
It was a very terrible experience. The Butler Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake. If somebody knew, because people were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been pretty well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if somebody could have said, because they've oftentimes said, like there'd be a lightning storm or something. Because I've done, I think, over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, "Sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm overhead or lightning or something," right? And
Yeah.
that happens often. And this would have been a perfect time for that to have happened, but it
Yeah.
didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
Well, it was your I think
Topic switch?
actions in the heat of fire, and like what I find admirable there was that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And
Well,
yeah, so
thank you very
yeah.
much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I wanted to let people know. I felt I was good when they were on top of me, covering me, actually, very much covering me, and very bravely. But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up, and they wanted. They have everything there. They wanted stretcher. I didn't like this.
Dude, it's
stretcher. And I knew I
crazy.
was hit.
It was like the most obvious move on
They felt I was
moment,
hit someplace
and
else
they
'cause
didn't move on.
It was such a lot of blood, and they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, "Sir, you were hit in more than the ear." I said, "Nope, I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up." And so I got up, and the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And I wanted
Sam
to let
video's
them know I
fire.
was
Low key, the Sam
okay.
video's
It
fire.
was very important for me to let
Yeah.
them know that. And they went wild. You've seen the after. They
That's
didn't go
satisfying.
wild when I
Yeah.
got up because they didn't know, was I alive? You really couldn't tell. When I stood up before the hand, before the fist in the air, they didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did. And when I put the fist up, they were just relieved and happy and thrilled, and the place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a terrible
Well,
thing, but it was
incredibly
amazing.
moving. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
Well, and
New
I
topic,
mean, speaking
Elon.
of
Speaking of.
the
What
sort
do you
of
got?
slide that got you to turn that saved your life really was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this
That's right.
maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was.
that slide saved
You're
your
right.
life.
No,
Basically.
the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it was.
I
I had to be at
know,
that exact angle.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
You know the
Wait,
incredible
what are
thing,
they
though, when
saying?
you talk about the odds.
What does that
You had to
mean?
be exactly at that angle, but
Saved by
the
illegal
incredible
immigration?
thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
It's always on my left, never my right.
That's
and
an
it's
Elon
always
Lil
at the
W
end
if I
of
ever
the
seen one.
speech. So
Yeah.
here we have it.
Oh,
it's
the
on the
chart
right,
about illegal
not the
immigration.
left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared, and they did a great job. They got it up immediately.
Because when he
fortunately.
turned his head,
But I looked to the right.
he looked
and,
at the
and
chart, and then the bullet
came
missed.
whizzing by, hitting my ear.
As opposed to if he was here.
So
I
it was
see.
amazing. But when you think of the odds of that,
Looks like illegal
and,
immigration
Yeah,
saved
yeah.
your life.
normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I
one.
wouldn't have the
Good
thing.
one,
And
Elon.
then, it
Yeah.
would have been a very different story. It's very much.
By the way, he would not be here right now if he
an
didn't
act of
turn.
God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored by it. I'm honored by it.
Well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted? with
Well,
the
I was
bullet?
going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler, and
The
we're going
hospital.
to go back in October. We're all
That's the
set
hospital.
up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area.
Oh, I guess it's
These
the
are
city.
incredible people. Like the three
I thought I
that
saw
in
about
the
the
case
hospital.
of Corey killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying,
As you
prior
were
to
saying,
being so horribly
So,
interrupted.
yeah.
But
Yeah, so rudely interrupted by an
Yeah,
assassination
so it was-
attempt.
but the chart.
Some people have no manners.
Elon, the chart was just a chart that in my last week we had the best illegal immigration numbers.
Elon
meaning
can't get a
stopping.
joke out without laughing.
It was at the lowest. You've seen the chart. It's become quite a famous
Yeah,
chart.
yeah.
But that was the lowest
Yeah.
point ever recorded. It was a really, I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people, Kamala and Joe.
The lowest
see what
point of
happened.
illegal
They
immigration
just
in the
let it
United
go. I
States
had
was
Remain in
1491.
Mexico policies. I had all these different policies.
And then
that were so good.
1492, Christopher
guys like
changed
Tom
that shit.
Holman and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all people that they've been on television. They says the best numbers we've ever had. We had
He
so many
mispronounced
different
it?
checks. Catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States. We had it in Mexico. We had so many things. We had things where if many people come in there, they
No,
have
he didn't.
contagious diseases.
He did it.
We had
I didn't hear it. I didn't
everything
hear it.
passed.
I didn't hear
If
it.
you have a
Doesn't
contagious
count. I didn't
disease,
hear
I'm
it.
sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes,
Sure.
and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart was very important for a
I'm
lot
waiting.
of reasons.
Well, I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because and that's
All right,
not the same
immigration.
as saying that everyone
Immigration,
who's
we've
an
changed
illegal immigrant
topics.
is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell a difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately
100%.
represent your position?
I say it
Okay.
very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying
He's saying it right,
Everything
right?
that I do.
Kamala.
She's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be
He's
strong.
saying it
Well,
right.
she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's
He just
making
said
a
Kamala.
speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you, and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is insane asylums. And many are terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia, they're coming from the Middle East, they're coming from countries that are
Okay, it is a lie.
stupidly and horribly.
We did not have 20 million people enter
Israel,
the United
October
States.
7th. They're coming from
We had
all over the world.
1.6 million in 2023.
You look at, it's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened.
Yeah.
It's so sad
Sure.
when you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective government. These are defective people, and they're not
it would
people
take
that
a
should be running it.
decade.
But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months that they can do something, but they won't do anything. It's all talk. She's incompetent and he's incompetent. And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something.
We got it right
he's
here.
not too good.
Yeah. No, I think
That shit is up,
essential to have
but it's
a
not
secure
20
border.
million up.
I mean, you're really not a country unless you have a
Correct.
secure border. And
secure
This
elections.
Pew Research.
yeah, absolutely secure elections. And so it's just essential to have a real border, or we can't function as a country, and our service, our essential services are being overwhelmed. In a lot of
Racist
cities.
undertones. It was crazy for him to be
and,
like, they're not just coming from South America.
As we
They're
were talking
coming
about
from
earlier, I think,
Africa.
having a
That
legal
was-
immigration
I don't know why he said it
process
like
that
that.
is smooth and efficient and done well. And I, speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant, and I think that like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna be great contributors to our society and to our economy,
Right.
and who do you want on the team? And it's
Elon's
and
not
it's to
illegal.
say
Elon
that-
is a legal immigrant
like
from
in
South
my opinion, actually, I'd
Africa
say,
to
like,
Canada
probably
and then to the
most
U.S. I
of the
think.
illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not, and and you just have this sort of adverse selection process where, if somebody's, if somebody's like
Elon overstayed his visa.
uh, has a career in theft or robbery,
Get that
I
fucker out.
don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're in such a target-rich environment. I mean, why aren't more people who have a career in, bad things coming here sooner? Because it's a piece of cake to go rob, houses in LA or New York, compared to other parts of the world. And in a lot of places in America, if you try to stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Yeah.
So it's
It's,
insane.
it's right. I mean, what's happening with crime, and our police are so good, but they're not allowed
He's saying,
to do
why
their
aren't
job.
more
But I have
people
to tell
illegal
you, Elon, I
immigrating?
hate
It
to
is
say,
so
'cause it's
easy
such
to
a
rob a
downer to say
house.
it. I hate to say it. I hate it, but uh, you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're allowing,
think you're
again,
right,
they're
yeah.
allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're delivering them into.
That's what Castro did.
Yeah, well, he did on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
It was a much smaller scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down. And wait till you see the numbers that we have. This is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed with raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters and started
Sure.
pulling out the knives, and bad things happen today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things. And they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people.
Yeah.
These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people. And it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it because, now she's trying to say
Sure.
she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location, which had nothing to do with where the problem is. She went in and out, I
Right.
guess, because she was getting
Hey,
a
we're
lot
doing
of
pretty
pressure.
good on
Yeah.
Had
crime.
nothing to do with the problem.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty
But
good in
she
the
was
United
the
States on
border
crime.
czar,
It's down.
And people
Yeah, yeah.
can't allow them to get away with their disinformation.
You can Google that
now
shit.
She's trying to say that
That shit's Googleable.
she wasn't.
Pew Research.
She
Pew
wasn't
Research.
really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally.
We're
in
doing
charge.
well. The
She
90s were
could have shut
bad.
the
We're
border
doing well.
down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known
Yeah.
what happened. You could shut the border down. He
Yeah.
wouldn't even know the difference. But the fact is that she was border czar. But if you don't have to call her
Yes.
that, the fact is you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst
Right.
ever.
It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's by
If you guys say I'm wrong,
whether
this
it's
is
a
you.
question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like a World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not?
People
So
think crime is
'cause
up,
you
but
see things, you're like, is it
disproportionately
real?
to where they don't
I
live.
went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas.
They're
and I
just
was
like, yeah, more crimes
okay,
happening
it's real.
in
I'm
like
seeing
San
this in real
Francisco,
time. I
I
actually
think.
posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border, and I have to say, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly.
These
So
are
people can look at my video and say,
Yeah.
hey, does these people?
I
these
find
people
Pew
look friendly?
Research pretty
they don't look
reliable,
super
but
friendly, so
These are people that
maybe
Elon would
I'm
not
woke
be the
sheep.
same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country. And, the caravans are coming in and they're putting, and who's doing this are the heads of the countries. And you would be doing
Yeah.
it, and so would I. And everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're taking all of their bad people, really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think, is they're also taking their non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them. But these are people that are non-productive. They are just not productive. I mean, for whatever reason. They're not workers, or they don't want to work, or whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases. And they're also
I just don't know if there's any evidence that illegal immigrants en masse are disproportionately murderers,
they're coming into our country at levels
prisoners,
that have never
rapists,
been
and
seen
non-productive
before.
workers.
And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here.
His evidence is
and
that
I
someone
saw an
got
ad
stabbed
by
in New York.
Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years,
Yeah, no.
we have 20 million people poured in. It's a terrible.
Yeah, I
thing.
think this, frankly, I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years,
He's saying Kamala right.
Open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years. It's going to be even worse than it's been.
Did he
for the
say it
past,
right? He said it right.
3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't
left
have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. You know, we think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala.
A lot of illegal immigrants from China,
and
actually.
Mexico, the 4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I think this is a super important point. Like people, it's like basically when I went down there,
60 million is insane. What an insane thing to say.
Almost no one was from
50
Mexico.
or 60
Mexico
million?
left.
It's just
On what
it's just
time
the border.
period?
It's just the border with Mexico, but the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything.
In
the next 4 years, 50 million.
We're overwhelmed.
That's
you
insane.
had to see the news tonight about New York.
That's insane.
New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it, and all the courts do is they try and focus on Trump. Okay, let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complain about her.
And they're all from jails.
Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have. From
We're
Africa,
getting 50 mil, and they're all from
the Congo,
jails?
They're coming from the Congo.
That's a big-ass
22
jail.
people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers. And they drop them. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, to maintain the jails.
Dude, he's acting like a Fortnite fucking bus flies over.
They take them out of jail,
and it's only prisoners from the Congo.
The United States.
And that's just happening en masse.
Say, don't ever come back, or you're going to be executed. And they don't want to come back. But they won't come back.
Sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South America. They're coming from everywhere.
Earth, basically.
And there are a lot of really bad ones.
It's just
Elon's like, yeah, they're coming from everywhere on Earth. And Trump's like, yeah, we got 20 murderers from the Congo.
To absorb,
not South America, from the Congo.
Even a few percent of the rest of Earth.
Elon's like, not Earth, all of Earth, all of Earth.
So,
yeah, but the Congo specifically.
Just to finish this
They're
up,
literally
we're
giving
gonna
us
have
prisoners from the
the
Congo.
largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country. What they've done to our country. Think of it, with in Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries.
Sure.
Some are at 30%. Some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom line is they're all going to be at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100% of it? And they're doing it right now while this third-rate phony candidate. Don't forget, I
think he's going off this.
I beat Biden. He failed in the debate miserably. And, some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different. Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was
they
a
called
coup.
It a scam.
This was
it's
a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said we can do it the nice way or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they did with this guy,
So,
and I'm no fan of
crazy.
his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine.
There's
and we'd
okay,
have
so
no
basically
inflation. And
in
we wouldn't have had the
right
Afghanistan
wing
mess, if you
politics,
think of it.
well,
there
And we
is a
wouldn't have had
narrative
Afghanistan.
that Joe
But
Biden
we
was
think of
removed
it,
forcibly in a
you take a
coup
few of those events
to
away,
put
and we have a
Kamala
different
because
world.
Joe was
We
going to
would
lose to
also have
Donald
no-
Trump.
Inflation was caused by
I
oil.
think Trump is just really mad that he's not going up against Biden because he's probably going to beat Biden's ass.
Which is that when
And now
other
it's
countries
less
that
secure.
are thinking about invading or doing
He
bad
mad.
things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do? And do they fear the American president, or is it someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would.
But personally,
They rightfully
as a
be-
voter,
I mean,
I am not mad that we have a
look at
better
the
candidate.
footage of the assassination. They're like, okay, the president.
I'm
Trump
happy
is,
that Joe Biden's
is
not
like,
running.
Don't
I'm
mess
cool
me.
with that.
I mean, that's like. Whereas
He
I
looked
think
like
people are
ass.
not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all.
I don't think it's a
intimidated
bad
by-
thing
by
that
Biden,
someone better
and
is
they certainly will not be
a nominee.
intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security. That's that if the American president is someone that evil dictators are scared of,
He's
that makes
question
a
marking me
huge
right now. This
difference
is question mark, question
to
mark,
the
question mark.
security of the world.
I
So
don't know
I
what the
had a
fuck
good
he's talking about.
relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too.
Not
They
necessarily a
actually, when they
compliment.
make up stories and
Not
you
a
have
compliment
to
yet.
fight your way out of it for
I
a
thought a
long
compliment
time.
was
But
coming. That was
I
a
know
nickname,
Putin
Shifty
very
Schiff.
well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world going all over Europe. I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say,
Yeah.
I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that
Yeah.
to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there, and the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers, shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow.
Yeah.
I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Right?
sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly, but I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing to listeners the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of
and
them.
that puts the
Yeah.
whole world in danger.
Elon, I know every one
It's
of
a
them,
big
and I
deal.
know him well. I know Putin.
Yeah.
I know President Xi. I know
So,
Kim Jong-un.
hey, just to
of North
clarify
Korea. I
on
know
the
every
Nord
one of
Stream
them.
2
And
pipeline,
let me tell you,
he did not
people
stop
say,
the Nord
"Oh,
Stream
this
2
is terrible."
pipeline,
He said,
but he
I'm
did
not saying anything
sanction
good or
Russia.
bad. They're at the
However,
top
they
of their
continued
game.
progress
They're
on the
tough,
pipeline
they're
while Trump
smart,
was in office.
They're vicious.
The pipeline is
and they're
still
going to
not
protect
yet
their country,
active.
whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror.
Did he
that you-
compliment
look
Putin?
at Israel. They're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. When I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been
How'd he say it?
good
How'd he
with
say
Iran.
it?
I don't want to do anything bad
I missed
to
it.
Iran.
How'd he say it?
But they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is.
Kamala?
But if you buy oil from Iran,
Kamala?
you're not going to do any business with the United States.
Bingo!
And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass.
Yeah.
They didn't buy oil.
All right,
Other
bingo.
countries, likewise.
Sure.
You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. You know, getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I met with President Obama just before entering, you know, it's a sort of a ritual.
He said, no way. I said,
we
way.
talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time.
That's a top 10
What's
Trump
the biggest
moment.
problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with
That's an
Rocket
all-time
Man
Trump
and,
clip.
you know, all the different things.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they were. No, they were epic. Everything. He said that he has a red
epic
button
tweets
on his
is cringe.
desk. I said,
Wait, he calls it
I have a
tweets?
red button on my desk too,
Nah,
but my
epic
red
tweets
button
is
much
cringe.
bigger,
Epic
and
tweets
my
is
red
cringe.
button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man. If Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden, I got a call from him. And they said they want to meet. They want to meet me. And we met, as you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam. And I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a war, a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff, too.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of damage. So
yes, I mean, it's because, you know, I mean, people like Kim Jong-un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
Well,
and
he and I had a good relationship. Remember I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say. Let's bring up Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and it was.
He did say tweet, but not Twitter. Not Twitter.
But we were not in danger with him because of me. You know, I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are controlling of the people.
I agree.
I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit.
Supreme Court.
We have some really bad,
Let's
and I
start there,
say
baby.
they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea.
Chill.
That's,
chill. You get rid of chat here. You can't get rid of chat.
In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming. Because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power.
Dude.
And we have to not
Hey, you're mad about some oceanfront properties?
anything to happen with stupid people
Y'all
like Biden.
global warming hippies
Biden,
are mad about some new oceanfront
did something with
properties. That's
Russia.
funny.
There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ.
Good
He had a
negotiator.
low IQ
Compliment.
30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things.
Dude, he
that
wishes
were
he was running against Joe
so
Biden so
stupid
bad.
that-
I don't
that-
blame him.
that
He would
war
win.
have been, that war
He
had
would
zero
win.
chance of
Easy
happening if
W.
I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything
He's just
the
not-
opposite.
that's not the guy
Everything
anymore.
the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disaster.
Sure.
Hey, look, just in the two armies, you lost 500,000 people. And,
Yeah.
and
No, it's-
Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story. But if you think about it, Russia's gone, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Okay,
it's
that's a
very
little
unfair.
inaccurate.
And Ukraine now
Deaths is
doesn't
not
have
at
enough
500,000,
men. They're now
but
using
deaths
young men
and
and very
injuries
old men
are at
to
half a
fight.
million.
And we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you, I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It
Casualties.
wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it. It made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to.
Thank you,
We
Navix,
have
for the membership.
numerous places that could end up in a World War III right now for no reason whatsoever.
I think you're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just
Thank you,
when
Matthew Wen.
looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and it's something that people have. I think after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things
And,
we're going to do is
it's-
we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best Iron Dome in the world. We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one. Some other places have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an Iron Dome. But with all of that being said, to me that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that
Absolutely,
they can't
sure.
buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed this to happen, and it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot.
What did I miss?
And we discussed the border at great
talking about
length.
Dome?
It's nice to have
Yeah,
a forum like this where I can discuss something at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass
No,
on you.
they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case, with a very friendly interview, she's got all friendly interviewers. It's pretty sad.
Yes, absolutely.
But the big thing now is the
Well,
economy, Elon.
yeah.
2G,
As
thank you
much
to 20
as-
gifted.
Yeah.
I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand
This
that.
is
but
true.
It doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all
Kamala
you
has
need,
not done an
because if I was
unfriendly
president,
interview
You're not going to have that kind of a problem.
since
But
becoming the nominee.
the thing that they really is making them angry is
And I think
what
Donald Trump thinks she's going to
Kamala
choke when
and
she does
Biden
one.
have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is eating you alive. If you're a worker or if you're
Has Trump? Yeah, he did a really,
just
and it went
a
horribly.
middle-income person.
He famously did one.
You can't afford.
with,
4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing that's happening, and we'll end that
Well,
quickly.
I think a lot of,
It was the one where he said Kamala's not
a lot
black.
of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never.
He
bounce
did an
when it's
interview at the
written by
National
government. So if
Association
the-
of Black Journalists in
if the government,
Chicago.
spends far
It
more
didn't go
than
great.
it brings in, that increases the money supply. And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation.
She has no reason for negative interviews.
So really,
no, I
we
mean,
need
I
to
feel like
we need to reduce our
I
government
mean, like even a
spending,
debate against Trump, she
and
will
we
do
need
one.
to
It will happen.
Re-examine. I think we need.
But
like
yeah,
a
she doesn't
government
need to do one right
efficiency
now.
commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest.
And it keeps
I
growing.
rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. You know, we had jets, we had fighters that were, and bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then we gave 85 billion of it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We gave them 85 billion. You know, they're one of the largest sellers of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing
national
days
debt.
in the history of our country. But if
Now
you think
Trump did get
let's
unlucky.
go
He got
back
hit with
to
COVID, but
the economy, we have to bring energy prices
the tax
down.
cuts didn't
Energy
exactly
started
help
it.
lower the debt.
The price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too
I don't
much
understand
gasoline,
how you have a
know,
conversation
you
about
have a
lowering
good-
the debt
and you do make a
when
great
the main
product, I have
policy
to
is
say. I have
lowering
to be honest
taxes.
with you.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon.
Did he
is
say Cybertruck?
The cost of energy? Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has to come down.
No.
It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%, and that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to drill, baby, drill. You know, they stopped drilling,
We're
and
gonna
then
drill,
they
baby,
went back
drill.
to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable. Wind and different things. You're not going to have anything.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say that
The
AI
AI is crazy.
This is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary
bingo?
competitor for this.
Y'all got bingo?
The AI. You're going to need a lot of electricity.
Well, I mean,
you're going to need tremendous electricity.
You do need a lot of energy for AI.
Almost double what we produce now.
Nah,
for
this
the
ain't
whole
cap.
country,
This
if
ain't
you can
cap.
Believe it.
Sure. Well, just going, back to this, like this basic thing, which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government overspending.
The double thing, I don't know how real that is,
agree
but
that
AI
we need to
uses
take a
a
look
lot.
at government spending and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so the country lives within its means, just like a person
The
does.
waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through it, like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general walks in, sir, would you please sign this
20%
document? What is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now, now they're highly sophisticated.
That's insane.
They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated.
Damn.
They're very, I won't say what's
He
on it,
mogged
but
them.
they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
That's a crazy number.
It's a crazy number. But I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back to the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns.
I do think
because
Boeing
they
is
see these
ripping
dopey
off
suckers in there, and they'll end up getting
America.
some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane. And you can now take that and multiply that out times
I think
thousands
government
of other
contracts
items.
Multiply
is a
it by
money
The
sink.
numbers are astronomical. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I mean, I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the
Boing.
taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if
it.
it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in.
That's crazy.
You want to quit? They go on
Yeah.
strike.
He's trying to
I
get
won't
a
mention
job.
the name of the company, but they go on
That's
strike, and you say,
crazy.
"That's okay. You're all gone."
He just tipped his little
You're
hat
all
in
gone.
there.
So every
Nah,
one
but
of
I'd
you
be
is
happy
gone,
to
and
do
you
that
are
too.
the
Like, if
greatest.
you want
You
me.
would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But if you look at Argentina.
Well, I'd be happy to
Yeah,
help
by the way,
out.
congratulations. I
Yeah.
just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting character. The new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big,
Malay's awesome.
he's great. And
Yeah.
he's a big MAGA fan, that he ran on MAGA. And he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific
Chat,
job.
is this real?
It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought everything, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing
Yeah.
they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. They had like
Yes,
2,000%. And they had inflation.
I don't know
like,
shit about Argentina. I'm
like
not gonna pretend.
not normal inflation.
I don't know
They had
jack shit.
the real deal. But we're going to
Yeah.
have that pretty soon. We have.
Buenos
I
Aires?
think we
Yeah.
have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They
Yeah.
don't include a lot of the items that should be included.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money
Yeah.
effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all, and what Malay is doing is he's cutting government spending, he's simplifying things, he's having putting in regulations that make sense, and we're Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement
That's right.
in prosperity. But it's also a lesson for the United States, which is that Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. In the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should
Bring back the
not
sand.
be complacent in the United States and thinking that and taking our prosperity for granted, because if with bad government policy we can run the country into the ground, and that's just something people should bear in mind. Don't take prosperity for granted.
Well, think of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list of the top 40. We're ranked number 40, number 38. Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the
On
top.
what?
They're a top 6 or 7.
In what?
But we're ranked at the bottom, almost
what?
at the bottom, 38, 39, 40.
At what?
In other words, horrible. And yet we spend more per
Education?
pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states where
We spend the most, but it's a little deceptive.
Iowa, where states
By
like
GDP,
Idaho,
we're fourth.
Not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California.
Gavin Newsom.
He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15 of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well-run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of, the land or the sun and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you moved education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well. but they'll actually be forced to do better because it'll be a pretty bad
What the fuck is he
situation.
saying?
But if you think about it,
yeah,
you'll have some of
yeah.
these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than half what it is in Washington. And these people don't care about the students in these, faraway states. And it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. I think you're making a good point in that
He's saying reduce education spending.
The states have to if each state has to compete against other states, then people will naturally move to states where it's better.
Well, like California, as we
that
said,
only works for rich
it's a
people.
Badly run state. I could go through. I got so many friends that are in those states, even if they're Democrats. I hate to mention certain states, but Illinois is badly run with Pritzker. He's a real loser. But some of these places are just
not everyone can move to the fucking nice school.
It's almost going to force them to run better.
Dude, my mom's a teacher. It is bad right now, though.
But you're not going to do worse
Post-COVID,
than you're doing right now. And I would say
don't give a
cost.
fuck.
You would cut your cost by 50 or 60%.
They don't give a shit.
And you'd have a little monitor. You want to make sure they're teaching English as an example. Give us a little English, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I mean, to what? I mean, some of these governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many people moving out of their state. They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul.
It's actually amazing.
It's just people moving out.
Isn't it amazing to you as a businessman that they can even survive? Like Illinois. So many people are leaving. And
my mom's entering her last year of teaching, actually.
How do they survive?
I've been telling her to retire for a while.
California, and you moved to Texas. Texas does a great job. But, I mean, I just wonder, how do these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses? And their taxes are already really high. The taxes are among the highest taxes. You almost wonder, how do they continue on? And in many cases, the governors don't do a good job in their crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not a good situation.
I mean, I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal government.
People are leaving California. But I think people are also leaving Texas.
You remember the area in California where they had that, where I guess somebody had sticky fingers and they stole a lot of money.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
And they went into a form of chapter.
Texas blew up.
And it was very nasty for a period of time. But now it's probably the most popular place in all of California. So at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is, you can't penalize people that loan money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family business, and then he ends up being governor of Illinois. So what is he going to be? Is he going to be a great governor?
What is this overlay?
And
educational.
You have people. I could name every one of them. I got to know every one of these, and some are very good, and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that the larger point here, too, as you're saying, like a lot of people are concerned about the economy, a lot of people are concerned about inflation, and inflation is effectively a tax on people that save money, and for people that are working day to day, it's just a form of taxation, and if we can solve the government spending problem, we'll solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living, and that's a really big deal.
Well, the people that got hurt worst are the people that did it the way they were taught to do it all through, their younger life and their young life and their whole life. The people that saved money and then they got no interest on their money and inflation destroyed them. And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated. And we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. When I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago, when you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart, and today, a lot of people just don't have the money.
I don't think bacon 5X.
Can't buy anything.
I'm going to say bacon did not 5X.
It's sticker shock.
I feel good about that.
Right?
I think it really just comes.
It's gone up, but 5X is crazy.
I guess two things, which is that if
5X would make bacon like fucking 20.
Solve inflation, which improves living standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate,
would you rather
have
unlimited bacon?
So because a lot of the regulations are nonsensical and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason. But unless you've
Olive
got
oil's up big.
effective deregulation, like Reagan
I think
did
Italy
a great
had
job
a
of
struggle
deregulation in the
session
80s,
though.
but it's been 40 years since we had
That's right.
anyone really. I mean, during your administration, we made some progress, but I think there's opportunity to make.
I thought
think
there was like
radical
a
progress
issue with olive
sensible
trees or some shit
regulation.
in Italy.
And
It was Spain?
Well, Elon,
those two things, yeah.
There's
Those
just
are the big
less
deals.
olive
we set
oil.
a record. We did more deregulation and more restrictions on all of the different businesses than any other president. Remember, I had the rule for every one we put in, you have to get rid of 10 or 12. And we did
Yeah.
radical cuts on all of that. And a lot of that's being put back by this administration. And we did radical cuts on things that weren't necessary. But we were all set. You know, we had the best economy ever maybe in the world. And then what happened is COVID came in and we had to focus on that and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on economy, good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt. But, you know, I never got the credit that we really deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But had that not happened, a gift from China, from Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and
I get
always
it.
said it, and it turned out to be right.
I get it.
But had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave the largest tax cuts, and we were going to reduce taxes still
He
further
did give a crazy
for
tax cut.
middle-income people, not only businesses. But we did it for businesses
It
because
was
they're the
just
ones that,
businesses.
that's why we had the great job numbers. But we were set to really start reducing debt. And, you know, we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil.
He added a lot of debt.
I had stopped the Russian pipeline, and we were going to supply them with oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune. And then the COVID came in, and we really had to divert.
The
Then
COVID
what happened
is
is
funny.
when they came in, you know, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in, he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. You know, we got over that bad period where everybody was dying and feeling, you know, it was just not a good period. Interestingly, you know, during his administration, many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt of it. But people don't realize more people died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for, you know,
Wait, that's not a lie. That's true.
We had the great, and you know that.
But Joe
probably
Biden
better
was
than
president
anybody.
from
So many of
2020
your
to
friends said to
2024.
me, the best years we've ever had in business were during the Trump years.
Right.
And also said that African American, Hispanic American were so incredible. They were having the best Asian American
2021
women, men,
to 2025.
young
Yeah.
people without a
It's
diploma,
basically
young
1
people
year of
that
COVID
graduated
versus-
from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School, from all of the great
But if
colleges.
you just look up
Harvard,
COVID deaths by
they
year, you
were
can probably
doing better,
find out
and people
who did
without
worse,
a diploma
right?
were doing better, and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and we had the problem is they spent trillions and trillions of dollars. They wasted. They shouldn't have taken any money, and we wouldn't be having inflation right now, which is killing our country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I should probably say something about, like, you know, maybe my views on, you know, climate change and oil and gas.
Speak to that.
Because I think it probably
You run an electric car
what
company.
Most people would assume. Because my views are actually pretty, I think, moderate in this regard, which is that I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry and the people that have worked very hard in those industries to provide the necessary energy to support the economy. And if we were to stop using oil and gas right now, we would all be starving, and the economy would collapse. So it's you know, I don't think it's right to sort of vilify the oil and gas industry, and I you know, the world has a certain demand for oil and gas, and it's probably better if the United States provides that than some other countries. And it would help with prosperity in the U.S. And at the same time, obviously, my view is like we do over time want to move to a sustainable energy economy because eventually you do run out of. I
Dude.
mean, you run
He's
out of oil and
tiptoeing
gas.
around this
It's not there.
conversation
It's
like a
not infinite.
racist uncle at
Um,
Thanksgiving.
and there is some risk. I think it's not
Like
the risk
maybe
is
like
not
long term, like
as
maybe
high
we move
as
to electricity,
you know, a lot
maybe.
of people say it is with respect to global warming. But I think if you just keep increasing the parts per million
Like
in the
possibly
atmosphere
Trump is it chill if
long
we like
enough,
maybe
eventually
it's
it
like
actually simply
at
gets
some point we move
uncomfortable
to
breathe.
at some point.
People don't realize
Who
this.
knows when?
If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea. And so we're now in the sort of 400 range. We're adding, I think, about
It's so funny
roughly
because
2
Trump's
parts
take
per
is
million
who
per
gives a
year.
shit. 1/8
So I mean, it still
extra
gives
inch
us
of water
a
to the
super.
ocean,
So what it means is
more
like we still
beachside
have quite a
property.
bit of time.
And Elon, who runs
But
obviously
so there's not
an
like we
electric
don't
car
need
company, I think
to rush,
understands
and we don't
the
need to like
dangers of global warming
stop farmers from farming or
and
you
all
know
the science
prevent
proving it to
people
be
from having
true.
steaks or
But like he has to
basic
dance
stuff like that.
around it and be like,
you leave
it's not
the
like
farmers
that big of
alone.
a deal, but like
How
long
crazy
term.
is that where
I mean,
you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle and the whole world is
yeah,
a
that's
little
silly.
crazy, but it's largely taken its lead from us. I do say though, I've heard in terms of the
Let's see.
fossil fuel,
Let's see the reply.
because even to create your electric car and create the electricity needed for the electric car, fossil fuel is what really creates that at the generating plants. And, so you sort of can't get away from it at this moment. I mean, someday you might be able to, but I do hear we have anywhere from 100 to 500 years left. Much of it hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah.
But there are tremendous, like Anwar. I got Anwar in Alaska approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Everybody tried. Nobody could do it. I got it approved.
His response is he got
that
more
Biden
oil
did
out.
was unimprove it, to get rid of it. He ended it. His secretary went in and she ended it. And what a disgrace. That's Anwar. That's bigger, or they think it could be bigger than Saudi Arabia in Alaska. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But they went in and they terminated it. And I'll get it going very quickly because not only is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the same size, and pure, really good stuff. And, they end it. So I think we have, perhaps hundreds of years left. Nobody really knows. But during that time, something will come around that will be very
What's your estimate, Elon?
Yeah.
What's your estimate? Speak to that.
And my estimate would be, a little more aggressive than that. But it's not the sort of like we're all going to die in 5 years stuff. That's
little more
BS.
aggressive.
But
We got hundreds, Elon.
My view is like if you just look at sort of the parts per
We got
million,
500.
That increments every year. You get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. I mean, I think some of that it's problematic if it accelerates. If you start going from 2 or 3 to say 5, and then there may be some situations where you get
they disagree.
A step change.
Of course, they disagree on climate change. Donald Trump is 78 years old.
I think we don't
give a
get
fuck.
too close to 1,000 ppm because
no matter how long it's going to take for climate change to come, he's going to be dead. He's going to be gone.
Just existing in,
so in the meantime,
ppm,
he would rather America make a shit ton of money.
That's like
Elon
like an industrial
is literally
hazard,
a guy driven by the human species surviving for billions of years.
Start getting headaches and stuff.
So he wants electric cars, and he wants rockets, and he wants interterrestrial, habitats.
I mean, I think we've got.
They could not be further apart of this issue.
And if I don't know, 50 to 100 years from now, we're
some old people still care. I'm just saying. I think you can kind of see Trump's rationale is he's old and would rather have money now.
The house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to move towards. And on balance, it's probably better to move there faster than slower. But like I said, without vilifying the oil and gas industry. And without causing hardship in the short term, I think this can be done without
liberal Elon.
People can still have
radical left Elon.
They can still
obsessed with climate change.
Cars and it's okay. It's like it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just just generally lean in the direction of sustainability.
So do you think we should mine in
And
Alaska, Elon?
I actually think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way. And so you get the solar power, mine that with batteries, so because obviously the sun doesn't shine at night, and then you use that to charge the electric cars, and you have a long-term sustainable solution. And that's what Tesla's trying to move things towards.
I
and
think
we've
Elon's
made a
basically
lot of
saying,
progress-
"Hey, I'm not
progress in
trying
that
to
regard.
upset
But when
fucking
you look at
gas
our cars,
oil in the
we
right
don't believe
base."
that
But I would love if the
environmentalism,
right
that caring about
base
the
were to
environment
give
should
a
mean that you
shit
have to
ton of
suffer.
tax cuts
So we make sure that our cars
and
are
government
beautiful, that they drive
dollars
well, that they're
towards
fast, they're
like
sexy.
global
they're
warming
cool. In
initiatives,
fact, literally,
solar,
I mean, the
electric
sexiest
cars,
Model S,
etc.
Model 3,
Which also
Model
works
X,
really
and
well
Y
for him
spells out
because he makes
sexy.
a
It's
shit
probably
ton
the
off
most
that.
expensive joke out there. But I don't know, I like cheesy humor, So, but I'm a big fan of let's have an inspiring future, and let's work towards a better future, and we can do so without demonizing
Right.
people.
I'm okay. It's very interesting.
I'm okay.
You use the word global warming, and today they use the word climate change because you have some places that go up, and so they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some places are going the opposite direction. But I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars, and it just seems like something that at some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first. But it would seem that a solar panel on the roof, on flat surfaces, certain surfaces might be good.
Yeah.
At least in certain areas of the country where you have the world.
This is embarrassing.
Where you have the sun.
This is embarrassing.
I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one
it's
thing
like
that
throwing
I don't
pennies to a
understand is
homeless
that
man.
People talk about global
Yeah, maybe we
warming,
can put
or they talk
fucking
about
like
climate
solar
change,
panels
but
on
they
a
never
car or
talk
some
about
shit. Write
nuclear
that down.
warming.
You'll figure
And
that out.
To me,
Sure.
that's an immediate problem because you have, as I said, 5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American president because you don't want to have this proliferation.
Elon
But
can't say
you
anything.
have
Yeah, he's
5
got.
countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us. sooner than
Elon is
people
all
think.
in
They're
on his
way
horse,
lower.
and his horse is
Russia
Donald
and
Trump.
us are number
And I think his
1,
goals are quite
and
clear.
we're sort of tied.
He wants some
And China's
policies,
far
if
behind,
Trump is
but they're
elected, to
developing
help
at a level
support
that,
his
you're not
businesses and
surprised
goals.
to hear. Very
I think that's
fast.
pretty fair. I think it's pretty clear
they'll
what he
end up
wants.
catching up, maybe even
Yeah.
surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The
And
power
maybe a job.
of nuclear is so great. And when I talk
Yeah,
about
nuclear power
prevent
is
world,
underrated. It's
I'll
awesome.
prevent World War III. I will, but the truth is that you have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is
Yeah.
a level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad
Nobody?
side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But
Nobody's
there's
seen it.
also, I think, nuclear electricity generation
Absolutely.
is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of
Couple-
nuclear electricity
Couple
generation.
people have seen it.
But it's actually
Just
one of the safest forms
couple people
of
have.
electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I'm not going to call mining.
they're
but
right
say,
about
just any
this.
kind of mining operation. And
Nuclear
there's
energy
a
is
certain number of injuries and deaths.
like
per
highly
year.
productive,
You
right?
compare that to nuclear. Nuclear
Or
is
effective.
actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source, and I think it's something that's worth reconsidering. But there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that
Maybe they'll have
sort
to
of
change the
have it,
name. The name is it's a rough name.
He
There
might
are
not be
some
wrong about
areas
that.
Like,
Yeah, it's a rough
like when
name.
you see what happened in
Good bad branding.
Right,
The
we'll have to
branding's rough.
rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name.
He
We'll name it
actually
after
he
you
might
or
be
something.
cooking here.
You know,
Rebranding nuclear energy is
no, it
probably
has a-
5 heads.
Hey, it has a branding problem. When you see what happened,
It does have a branding problem.
when you see what happened in Japan, where they say you won't be able to go on the land for about 3,000 years. Did you ever see that? And in Russia, where they had the problem, where they, there's a lot of bad
He's talking
things
about
happened, and they have a
Fukushima,
problem. And
right?
they
The
say
nuclear
that
disaster.
in 2,000 years, people will start to occupy the land again. You realize it's pretty bad.
No,
but,
that's not true.
But you're right about it.
People live in
it's-
Fukushima.
It's actually not that bad. So like after Fukushima happened in Japan, people were asking me in California, are we worried about like a nuclear cloud coming from Japan? I'm like, no, that's crazy. It's actually it's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate locally grown vegetables on TV to prove it. Um, and I donated a solar water
Elon's
treatment,
cooking on this.
a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
Yeah, but you haven't
because the
been
danger
feeling
is
so
just
well lately, and I'm worried about it.
no, but I mean,
I'm only
it's
kidding.
fine. It's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So
Right.
it's
Well, that's
really
great.
not
That's
something
great.
that
That's great.
so it's not as scary as people think, basically.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's against Trump's rhetoric.
Let's see, I
Trump
mean,
wants
I mean,
people
are
to
there some
fear
other
World
topics
War
we should
III
touch
more
on?
than they fear anything else.
like lawfare, I think
Well,
we need to be concerned about
what they've done to
Um,
this country.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just won the big
I mean,
case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political
I'm so
opponent,
lost.
me.
Elon was
with this
defending nuclear
nonsense,
energy, and then
and
Trump
just
said,
nonsense.
"You've
In the
not been
big
feeling
case in
well since
Florida, we
eating
won.
the nuclear vegetables."
But they
as a
always
joke.
pick a judge and a jury, and they use local DAs. They use the local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled Fani, Fani, and it's all a big hoax, and it's all run from there. Like in Manhattan, one of the
I have no
top
idea what they're
people
talking
from
about.
the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran
Genuinely
the state.
zero idea.
The Letitia James deal was run by a person from
Not a
the
clue.
Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before,
Sure.
and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare. It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this where I can talk about it and
Is he
people
plugging
understand.
truth?
I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what happens is they went after their political opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him? The guy could barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this
Political
looks
science.
good because it looks so bad. And it's ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing that for a long
He
time.
ain't talking
can't
about the
lift
places
chair.
so
The chair
close.
weighs about 3 ounces. It's meant for children and old people to lift, and he can't lift it. The whole thing is crazy.
Well, he's clearly not, I mean, he's clearly like we just don't have a president right
You
now.
don't
That's
have a
just obviously
president,
the
and
case.
she's going to be worse than him because she is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco, and then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about location, and we're talking about the sun and the water and all. There's nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California. What she has done to California is, well, you know better than I do. You just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states now you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out again. Our country is becoming a very dangerous place. And she is a
That's true. I live in
radical left
California.
San Francisco
Many
liberal,
people get murdered
now
and
she's
are
trying
able to walk
protect-
same day.
Now she's looking like she
In
wants
fact,
to be
it's almost
more
encouraged
Trump
when you
than
go to a
Trump,
Starbucks
if that's
to murder on the way
possible.
home.
I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump.
Yeah.
I want a wall.
I think that's
she wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really
Radical
bad.
left.
That just came
Yeah, I
out
just saw
today.
that.
Radical left.
She doesn't want to build the wall, even though the walls work. Walls and wheels. In your business, everything you do is obsolete. Almost, well, not the tunnel.
Thank you, the 50
but everything is
gifted.
obsolete.
Navex.
Even your rocket ships.
Double using chat for
like
Navex.
a month later, they're obsolete. You find a better way to. The only thing that's not obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall, I built hundreds of miles of wall, and that's why we had such good numbers. I was going to add 200 miles. We bought it. We could have flipped it up in 3 weeks.
Thank you, Nick, for the
and
membership.
they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. That meant I said, wow, that means that they actually do want to have open borders. She wants to have open borders, and now she's going like she's tough on the border. It's such a lie.
Yeah, this is simply not
Yeah.
true. This is simply
No,
not
and
true.
everybody
Yeah,
knows
it's
it's
simply
not true. It's a disgrace.
Thank you, the
that
20
she can say it.
gifted seriously.
No, I mean, obviously, what's happening sort of overnight
back to border.
is they're
We're back to immigration.
rewriting history and making Kamala sound like a moderate when in fact she is far left, like far left.
Worse than Bernie Sanders. She is considered
Yeah.
more liberal by far
That's
than
crazy.
Bernie Sanders.
I don't.
She's a radical left lunatic, and if she's going to be our president,
I don't know in what
very
universe
quickly,
the
you're not gonna have
Attorney
a country
General
anymore. And she'll go back
is
to all
more
the things that
radical
she believes
than
in.
the
She
fucking
believes in defunding the
Burlington
police.
mayor from
She
Vermont.
believes in no fracking, zero. You don't. Now all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah,
she's
yeah.
saying, no, I will. I really want to see fracking. If they got in, the day she got in, she'll end fracking. And by the way, if people didn't think that, the lunatics that really believe in that, they won't vote for her. You know,
This is true.
Like the Palestinians
Kamala Harris
and
did
Israel.
vote anti-fracking in
so
2020 or 2019
anti-Israel, and
when
she's
she was
bad for
in the
both.
Senate,
Biden actually
when she was
did
running
something that was
for
impossible.
vice president,
Both
or excuse me,
sides
president.
hate him. You know, both sides.
And then she's
That
backed
was a
on
hard
that.
thing to do. Unification.
She's backed on those takes.
Yeah, no. I mean,
W and fracking.
You know,
Well,
Netanyahu
she's
came
reverted
to
on
a-
all
a
of that.
talk to
So if you
your-
thought she was
a joint,
based, she's
Senate
no
and
longer
House,
of that opinion.
Sitting, and I was there.
She is
and-
now
and Kamala stood him up. You know, what does that say?
for the fracking.
I think it's highly
that's,
disrespectful. And I say, if you're
What's
a
fracking?
Jewish person, or
It
if
is
you
a way
believe in
to
Israel,
extract
if you're
oil
a
from the ground
person
more
that, you know,
efficiently
is a very
at
pro-Israel.
the, if
if
I'm
you
understanding
vote
correctly,
for her,
like
it's
risk
worse
and
than
harm
Biden.
to the environment.
And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have
Like
your
much more
head
risk and harm to the
examined.
environment.
And you see tonight, I mean, as we're doing this, I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight or tomorrow from hundreds and maybe thousands of rockets.
I think you,
know,
basically
their
explode
Iron Dome, as
water
they call it, as
into
we all call
holes
it, but
where you're
their
digging
shield
for
that they
oil,
built,
and then it
that
shoots
can
all the
be,
oil up. I think
swamped.
is the Eli.
We'll use the term.
Explain like a
appropriate,
5.
Swamped. But they
Yeah.
swamp it by shooting enough missiles. You know this better than anybody. By shooting enough missiles,
Sure.
they can't defend themselves.
People are calling it the new
They
soaking.
just obliterate the whole
Yeah.
place. And that's what
Thank you, Navix, for the
people
5th,
think
for the
they're
100
looking
gifted,
to do.
Navix.
And we have
Jesus.
no leadership.
W's for Navix,
There's
man.
no
100 gifted's
respect for
crazy.
the
I
United
really appreciate
States
that,
of
man.
America
AG, I'll
with
think of the
these
10
people.
gifted, man.
And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
she'll be worse than him.
Thank you,
Because
Hansberg.
she's
Appreciate
the
you, baby.
believer
Yeah, no, I
in being
think you're right.
radical left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, you really, it's important for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, you know, before the last month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent
Her
moderate,
track
you
record
would
definitely
not agree with
flipped
it,
when she became the
because
presidential
it is, like,
nominee,
her
because I
behavior
think
has
you
been
cannot
far
be
left,
anti-fracking and
we're seeing
running
just
for
an overnight
president
propaganda
if you
attempt
want to
rewrite
win the
history and
swing
make it sound like
states
Kamala's
where there's a
moderate
lot
when
of
she, in
fracking
fact,
jobs
is not
that will
moderate.
determine if you
Well,
get
her,
in office or
her
not.
I think
running
that-
mate approved.
But
signed
when
into
she was an
legislation
underdog in 2020,
tampons in boys'
it's fine to be
bathrooms, okay?
anti-fracking to like make
Now,
yourself,
that's all
Yeah,
I have
weird.
to hear.
you know.
Tampons in boys'
That's weird.
bathrooms, and that means she believes
Yeah.
in that too. I mean,
Yeah,
she
that's
she
not
picked
okay.
this guy.
That is true.
because
In
he was
Minnesota,
the
they do
closest
have
to her.
tampons
A lot
in
of
the boys'
people thought
bathrooms.
she'd pick sort of the opposite,
I don't think it's a problem.
but she picked an
I don't think it's a big deal.
anti-Israel radical left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as the president, I don't think our country can survive.
I think it's a massive. I think we're in massive
Do you agree,
trouble,
Elon? Do you think the
frankly,
country
with the
will
Kamala
deteriorate?
administration, and that's my honest opinion. And I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country for this election. And I mean I'm just stating my opinion. Now,
Don't cancel me.
You know,
That's just my
you may
opinion.
have seen this, but I got a letter from the EU Commission, saying, to not
Did they
have
mention trans people?
disinformation on during this discussion that we're having, and there's a lot of attempts to do censorship and to force censorship even on Americans
No.
from other countries, and what do you think about that?
Well, I know
They just mentioned the tampons in the
European
boys'
Union
bathroom.
very well. They take great advantage of the United States in trade, as you know. We, through a different forum, NATO, we protect them, and yet if you build a car in the United States, you can't sell it in Europe. You just can't sell it. It's impossible. The same thing with our farmers. Our farmers find it very difficult to do business. You know, we have a deficit with them of $250 billion.
It's an indirect mention. I'm not fucking
so nice,
marking it off bingo. Don't try to scam bingo. That's not how it works.
They're not as tough as China, but they're bad. And I let them know it. And that's probably why they notified you. No, they don't treat our country well. We defend them. You know, with Ukraine, so we're in for 250 billion, and they're in for about 71 billion, and they have the same size. It's if you add up the European nations that in terms of an economy, it's about the same size. When you say as us, and they're in, and they're in much greater risk. They're right there. We have an ocean separating us from. In this case,
they're literally
the
talking about it, just
Russia.
not saying trans. What more do you want
for them
to say
Union,
trans?
But let's assume they're close enough. And what happens is they're in for 70-something million. I think even less than that billion, and we're in for about 250 billion, and it could be a lot higher than that. And I say, why aren't you going to equalize? Why aren't they paying what we're paying? And they're in much more, it's much more important for them because of the fact that, they're right near there. I mean, they're all sort of in that location. We're not. But they should, and I did it with NATO. There were only 7 countries that were paid up in NATO out of 28 at the time. And the United States the United States was subsidizing NATO, tremendously subsidizing NATO. And I said, I went in and I said, you got to pay up. If you don't pay up, we're not going to defend you any longer. I took a lot of heat.
Thank you, Navix, for the 50, babe. Navix,
billions
chill.
Came flowing in. And
I think a lot of the public isn't aware of the fact.
I'm pretty
that
sure this
the
happened.
United States pays a disproportionate share of the NATO expenses,
and then we get taken advantage of on trade. So think about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point of NATO is defending Europe, and it's it's like then okay, well, why is the United States paying disproportionately more to defend Europe than Europe? That doesn't make sense. That's unfair.
For free
and
trade.
That is an appropriate thing to address.
Well, when you talk about cost cutting and savings and everything else, I mean, honestly, look, there's nobody that feels worse about the Ukraine situation than I do because I know it would have never happened. I know Zelensky. He was very honorable to
it's
me
for
because
peace.
when they went
it
with
ain't
the Russia
really
hoax,
for peace.
and they said I had a phone call with him. He said it was a perfect phone call. It was a great phone call. He could have grandstanded and said, oh, he was very threatening. He said no, it was a very nice phone call. I called him up to congratulate him on his win, and you end up getting impeached because these people are lunatics. I was talking about the difference.
I think America's basically been the big bad police officer
in many cases
of the world for the past 100
within
years in exchange
for our country
for
than
opening
the
up
Russians
trade.
and the Chinas. If you have a smart president, you're not going to have a problem with them. You're going to do things.
Yeah.
Now they've taken advantage of
absolutely.
us incredibly, but you're going to do things with the right person.
Yeah. Well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly, with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it. Like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question.
Okay, let's just be free.
He would have walked out. He would have said, where am I?
This is one of the
going?
easiest conversations of all time.
But, no, he wouldn't have this.
That's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but, we cover a lot of territory.
Half of it has been about the assassination.
We can have a conversation, and I'm able to get it out because I get treated unfairly.
This is a really big point. You can actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like it's not possible.
That's
so this is like talking to an NPC.
No,
I understand.
Well, but think of it. We
the
need
Biden insults, but they're trying to conflate it with Kamala Harris,
unbelievably
and she's
sharp
just
in order to stop all the
way
nuclear
younger
danger and all the
and
dangers
not
that I'm talking
incapable
about.
of having a combo.
And I got along with all these. I got along with Kim Jong-un. We had dinner. We had everything, and he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. You know, a lot of people said, "Oh, do you think you really?"
That's for
Let me
sure.
tell you, I saw things that you don't want to know about. He is the boss, but we had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man. He said he's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But you know, in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it, but I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it
Yeah.
if it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now, you know Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating, or
No, it's
even
silly. It would be
standing
silly.
together? It is, the whole concept
Yeah.
is ridiculous. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I
It
saw a
would-
picture of
Yeah,
her
yeah.
on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing, and actually,
Yeah.
she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She looked. Didn't look.
Yeah.
She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, well, maybe like I think part of what people in America want to, people in America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the
True.
future is going to be better than the past, and that America is going to do things that are greater than we've done in the past, reach
Right.
new heights that make you proud to be an American, and excited about the future.
They want the
And,
American
I think
dream
this-
back.
Trump, when he sees
they
this
want
shit,
the American
fucking-
dream back.
Ow!
More important than anything
He
else.
loves his
It's-
pick.
It's like you don't have that today because the people, they've been just sucked. They see incompetent people running our. You know, the Biden thing is very interesting. People just found him to be incompetent, and when I debated him, I was like, "Is this for real?" It was.
Yeah, it was just absurd. But I think there are like some grand projects that we could do. I mean, I think like we could build a base on the moon. We could send American astronauts to Mars. We
Right.
could build high speed connections that are more advanced than anything else in the world between our cities, so people have fast transport.
I love that one.
It's possible to solve traffic with tunnels.
That's right.
No.
We already made
Trains,
great
not
progress
tunnels.
in Vegas doing that, and
Trains.
and just do things that are exciting and inspiring and make the future feel like it's better than the past.
Well, I saw what
like,
you did in Vegas, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. I got
It's
to
not
see-
amazing.
I took a big glimpse at it, and it's
It's
incredible. What
embarrassing.
it's incredible, and you could do that.
If
all
it was a
over. You
metro,
could do
it'd be
that all
great.
over.
Give me a
It's
metro
deep.
from
Yeah.
LA to
You don't
Vegas.
even need much structure, assuming you're in the right area.
No, it's straightforward.
It's amazing.
So I think we could do some things that like China's got incredible high speed rail.
They
between
do.
its
And they
cities,
made it
but I think
very
it's actually
quickly.
possible with tunnels if with deregulation with an ability to actually where it's like legal to actually do the tunnels. Then you could have high speed tunnels that are actually better than anything else in the world for high speed transport between cities. And that would be something that
I don't like how he keeps
Americans
saying
can say, wow,
transport and not
okay, we've got
trains or
something that's
metro.
cooler than anyone else in the
Yeah.
world. That's the kind of thing that makes you proud to be an
And
American.
much safer than surface trains, where there is a danger there. With people, with crazy people. It's much safer, much better. And it's sad because I've seen some of the greatest trains. I find it fascinating, and I've seen the systems and how they work, and the bullet trains they call them, I guess, and they go unbelievably fast,
They
unbelievably
call them
comfortable,
Shinkansens, I guess.
with no problems. And we
Apparently
don't have
very
anything like that in this
sugoi
country, not even close. And it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense that we don't.
Millions of
Doesn't make
Japanese.
sense.
Yeah, and I
So
think
many,
also,
they have to
like,
push them in.
there's-
They have to push them in. That's right. They have to
kind of
push.
hopping on the excess regulation, but I think something that
Dude, Trump is a
um,
weeb.
like I think people can generally understand is that what happens with laws and regulations is that there's more and more of them every year, and unless there's a process to clean them up, eventually everything becomes
You're right.
illegal, and that actually it slows down the development of new technologies. I mean, if you take sort of,
I mean,
like, I
China's
think
high-speed rail is
there's room for some
made by the
reform
government,
at
right?
at the FDA.
It's not privatized. Same with
yeah.
Japanese.
Improving the speed
Japan's,
with which
right?
we approve drugs that
Those are
can
both
help
two
save lives
government-
and improve people's
Yeah.
lives. And
I worked very
funded
hard
projects.
On that. We got that down
Yeah.
to the lowest number ever.
It's just funny to use
And
a
we got,
government project as an
therapeutics
example for
approved
your
in the
privatized
FDA
goal of
that
deregulating
people
so
can't
you
even
can
believe
make
the
public
speed.
transport.
But I took them on. I don't think they like me too much, but I got things approved.
Is Japan's
in
privatized?
the FDA at numbers that they wouldn't believe. And, you know, it's a very bureaucratic group. Actually, it's a fine group of people in many cases. I got to know a lot of them, but I was pushing them really hard for
It's both?
Regenerons, for so many different
What's the
things
Shinkansen?
that were really
Because that's what I
pretty
want.
amazing. But the FDA takes too long. It's 12 years to get a product approved. I got it down to 4. And I got some things done very quickly, but it's
The
it's
JR rails
really something
privatized?
that is going to have to be worked on because it takes too long. Just takes too long.
Yeah, it just takes too
Another
long,
50
and
gifted from
you end up in
Navex?
the same with the approval, but it just
Thank
it's
you,
just
man.
you know, it takes years instead of something that I think could potentially take
Yeah.
months, and that improves people's lives. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, but I just wanted to sort of hop on this point that like there has to be an active process for reducing rules and regulations, because otherwise they just keep building up every year,
Yep.
and you get like hardening of the arteries, and eventually everything's illegal or takes forever, and then we just we just ossify as a society. We can't make any progress, and
I
that's
see
it's a really
Elon
big
Musk's
deal.
goals from this
Elon,
call.
just getting
Elon
back to
Musk's
the
goals
FDA
from
for
this
1 second,
call
I got
is
something then called
deregulate
Right
so
to
he can go
Try.
fucking
This
stupid
is where you can go in and if you're terminally ill,
get a
you
job.
can use a space age, medicine or whatever it may be. We have the best doctors, the best labs in the world. We really do. But people would go to other countries because you couldn't use the product, even if they thought it worked, because it's going through the FDA. I got
Did
it
they say
approved
Cybertruck?
where you can,
Yeah.
you basically, you look, nobody wanted, the doctors didn't want it because of the liability. The country didn't want it, our country, because they didn't want to get sued. These are people terminally ill. The insurance companies didn't want it, and the pharmaceutical companies, nobody wanted it. I got everybody into a room, and we came up with an agreement that you won't get sued. And also, they didn't want it on their record. If somebody's terminally ill and they die after taking a drug, they didn't want that on their record. So we set a separate list. If somebody was, so it wouldn't count as a negative.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you know, we got it
Yeah.
done. We have saved Right to Try. They've been trying to get this done for 58
Yeah.
years, and it sounds simple, but it wasn't because of, I mean,
I don't know
the
what he's talking
insurance
about. I have
companies,
no idea
nobody
what he's talking
wanted it,
about.
but we got it done.
Sure.
Somebody you sign a document that you're not going to sue the insurance companies, the country, you're not going to sue anybody. And we got it done, and we're saving tens of thousands of lives. Right to Try. Hopefully you never need it, but if you
Yeah.
do, you don't have to travel to Asia. People,
Right.
if they had money, they go to Asia, they
sure.
go to Europe. If they don't have money, they go home and die. That's what happened. They'd go home and die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and actually, to give Europe some props here, it's like if a drug is approved in Europe, which has a crazy amount of regulations, it should obviously be approved in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, they get more regulations than we do. So why would a drug be approved in Europe and not in the U.S.? That's crazy.
Well,
I'm
we
not
did
opposed to
we
that.
did something that really, they've been trying to do it for 50 years. And they
China
just
goes
couldn't get
fucking
it done, and
crazy,
they got it
bro.
done. And it's
Or not
it's really
China,
something. But
Europe.
you're right. Some people go to Europe because a drug isn't approved here, but it's approved in Europe, and it's a drug that, generally speaking, would
Yeah.
work. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
You're right.
And I think so long as people are properly informed of the pros and cons, and like these are the risks, this is the risk, and like you make your own decision. That makes sense.
Well, I think just, in sort of closing up.
Shouldn't we still
and by the
test?
way,
I'm
looking
down
at
to
the
go off
numbers. You
whatever
got a lot of
Sweden
people
does.
listening.
Swedish
I
people
hope
live
you
for a
don't
long
get
time.
nervous because you got a lot of people.
It's a happy
listening to you
country.
Right now, like
If it's
60
good for
million or
Sweden, it's
something.
good for me
What
personally.
is that number? It's crazy. It's amazing how you can see that right away. How many? What is the number? Wow. What is it?
Well,
Wow.
I think in
Wow,
terms
that's
of people
that's
that,
a big.
that
That's bigger than you said. You said 25, and you're much more than double that number, 25 million. I think you're going to be 60 or 70, and I guess over a period of time. Hey, I congratulate you. Do I get paid for this or not?
Yeah, go on.
Well,
Go on, DT.
I think actually in terms of the number of people that will hear this conversation over the next few days to
Right.
weeks,
Okay,
it's going to be
like
hundreds.
factually,
That's what
there's
they
not
say.
60
yeah, that's
million,
Good. Well, look,
but
it's an
yeah.
honor. I just asked this: are you better off now, or were you better off when I was president? Nobody's better off now. People, we put out polls on that.
okay,
and
they're going off
nobody's
this, I
better
think.
off now. Inflation has killed
They're going
it.
off this.
And they also feel very unsafe. You look at what's going on with a lot of different things. You look at the riots we had at the
Yeah.
colleges over, I mean, it's ridiculous, but
Right.
all of the riots, they just feel unsafe. And now they really feel unsafe because you have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. I call it Biden
Well,
migrant
yeah.
crime. Maybe I'll call it
Well,
Kamala migrant crime. But
I mean, with all these things, I always try to
Doesn't
get to
really
the
roll
ground
off the
truth by just
tongue.
asking people.
Kamala
And
migrant
my
crime.
mom lives in New York, and I was like, Mom, do you know, have any of your friends, been attacked or assaulted? And she said, yeah, 3 of her friends in 3 separate
crazy.
incidents were assaulted just in recent months, just walking around the streets of New York. And I said, well, what happened to the people that assaulted them? Oh, nothing. They got away. Like, and they just know
They
that
always get away.
nothing's going to, and they don't even bother reporting it because there's not, they know that they're not going to, people are not going to get prosecuted. They just let, violent criminals out in New York.
The only one that gets
zero bail.
prosecuted is Donald Trump. They don't get, they prosecute Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously messed up.
Oh, it's terrible.
If violent criminals are being getting off scot free, and meanwhile the New York spending massive resources prosecuting you, and it's like what's this, and I think the sort of sensible
Yeah, if only
public
they put the
said-
money
looks
on
at
the
this and says,
migrant
what the
crime.
heck's going on here? This is obviously abuse of the legal system. The legal system is supposed to be protecting the public
right.
from violent criminals, and it should be obviously allowing the public to make their own decision about who should be president, as opposed to some legal case.
Once they start this precedent, because this can go on with the next one. I mean, this is a very bad precedent what they're doing in terms of going after their political opponent, and that's all it is. It's going after their political opponent, and then you get a judge who's a strong Democrat, and I'm being nice when I say that. In many cases, crooked as hell. But you get a judge, and you go into an area where a Republican gets 3 or 4% of the vote, and you'll have a jury pool with people that hate Republicans or hate. It could also be the other way, though,
Of course.
because it could start the other way in areas where they hate
Exactly.
Democrats, and you get into a Pandora's box. It's a very dangerous thing for this country, and a very dangerous thing even for the state. New York City is losing. New York City and state lose a lot of business over what they did to me, because these people say, we don't want that to happen to us. That's no justice system. You have an unfair system of justice, and it's costing New York State a tremendous amount of money. People are leaving and companies are leaving, and they won't come back. So, all of that stuff is important. But the economy now is the big thing, and we can turn that economy up so fast, and people are going to be back again. We're going to get rid of inflation.
I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Right.
Absolutely. So.
And I just want to, I want to
think,
congratulate you. You've done an amazing job. You have definitely got a fertile mind. We can talk, you and I can talk about rockets.
Well, it's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Tunnels. We can talk about tunnels and rockets.
Fertile mind?
And electric cars, so many things. And now you're into the AI, and that's going to be another beauty, I'll say. So it's an amazing thing you've done, Elon. It's an amazing thing, and I congratulate you.
I mean, thank you. And I just say here, here's to an exciting, inspiring future that people can look forward to and be optimistic and excited about what happens next. And that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate that. That endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. And, we have a phrase, make America great again. It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again. And we can do it. We can do it now. But if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years, I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. We have to do a lot of things.
I think that's a very real risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
It's a very real
We made
risk.
it by the Civil War.
I'd like to note to people
We had a
listening,
Civil
like,
War.
I've
We
not
made it
been
through.
Very political before. And
I just don't think this is as bad as when we fought each other for 4 years straight.
Which is absurd.
I just don't think it's as bad. And we made it through that.
Batteries helping with the environment, and I actually I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and so it's not like I'm like some
Navix,
sort of dyed-in-the-wool
you're crazy.
Republican.
Thank you for the 50.
I'd call myself historically a moderate Democrat, but now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, and I think a lot of people thought, the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not. And obviously, we're just going to see an even further left administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. I mean, she was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. You can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up.
That is true.
So,
but I also don't know if that reflects on her. I don't think she's a Marxist economist.
That's prosperous, and I think we're just at this
she was the head
juncture,
cop of California,
and I think this is a case of the America is going to at a fork in the road, and
True.
And I think it will take
it's also weird for Elon to say that, a guy who
and I think Kamala is the opposite.
Publicly hates his father.
I'm gonna get attacked like crazy.
Who literally married one of his own nieces,
and
when she was
I'm
16.
just trying to tell people my honest opinion.
Like his weird, creepy, predatory father,
really active in politics before,
who beat his kids.
And I'm just trying to point out that
it's crazy to be like, hey, yeah, your dad is basically you, but my dad, different.
And so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support
Elon Musk's dad. I forget his name. He's a horrible guy.
And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road. And we're
Elon Musk.
If
Musk,
goes the other
horrible,
way.
horrible.
Well,
man.
I want to thank you. And, I actually always did think of you as somewhat left. I must say that. So it's
Yeah.
even more of an honor to have your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it. But, when you think of her, San Francisco,
like father,
15
like son.
years,
I disagree with that.
friend Bob Tish, he said
You
it's
can
the
think
greatest
Elon
city
sucks.
in
You can think
America.
Errol sucks, but I like to believe that regardless of what
it's
parents
not-
you had, you
it's
can be a
almost
good
not
person
livable
or
there.
a bad person.
And
if your
California
parents are great,
likewise. And she was involved in the destruction of San Francisco and the destruction of California. And she will be involved in the destruction of our country if people are so unwise as to elect her. And I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope the elections are going to be run honestly. And we're going to turn this country around. We're going to do things and we can do it fairly quickly. And we have to get rid of the criminals that have been, given to us by other countries as they laugh. They laugh at us. They think we're stupid to accept these people. These are radical, stone cold killers in many cases and terrorists. And they're in our country by the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And we have to take them out.
Yeah. I mean, if I could summarize it, perhaps, I think these are issues that I think most people in America would agree with, which is that we want safe and clean cities, we want secure borders, we want sensible government spending, we want to restore both the perception and reality of respect in the judicial system.
He was 70.
And
his stepdaughter
and
was
I think
30.
That's like, and how are those even right-wing positions? I think those are that's just common sense, and that's. I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. I don't understand. The whole. They call it progressive. They don't like the word liberal anymore, but call it liberal or progressive. I don't understand how somebody could say that it's okay for them to empty prisons into our country. And again, I told you their crime rates all over the world are going way down, which makes sense. In fact, the next time what we'll do is if something happens with this election, which would be a horror show, we'll meet the next time in Venezuela because it'll be a far
Who's saying
safer
that?
place
No
to
one.
meet
But
than
he's
our
basically
country, okay? So
shifting
we'll
the
go, you and I will
argument
go
of
and
like
we'll have a meeting and dinner in
immigration to
Venezuela,
saying
because
all
that's what's
immigrants,
happening. Their
illegal
crime rate's
immigrants, are coming
down,
from prisons.
and our crime rate's going through the roof, and it's so simple. And you haven't seen anything yet because these people have come into our country and they're just getting acclimated. And they don't know about being politically correct law enforcement or lack of law enforcement. And our police, I have to just end with this. We have great police. We have great law enforcement, but they're not allowed to do their job. They have to be able to do their job without being destroyed.
Well, absolutely. And it's obviously demoralizing if you're a police officer.
Is Musk a Trump supporter? Yeah.
To arrest violent criminals who could kill you and do kill you sometimes. And then you arrest the violent criminal, and then the DA, doesn't prosecute, and that's let the guy out.
Yeah.
Well, then, like, why should a police officer risk their life to arrest a violent felon?
I don't think a police officer in the moment is like
even worse. They prosecute
probably an
the
immigrant.
police
Probably
officer.
DA is going to pardon him.
They go after it and they prosecute the police officer.
I don't think this
and
happens.
They take away his pension. They take away his job. He loses his family. He loses his house.
Well, I thought it was very telling.
I just feel like the issue with the
telling
police
that, you know,
historically
when
has not
there was
been that they're
case of
not
where,
trigger happy enough.
you know, sort of a gang of thugs beat up police officers.
I'm not
I
saying
think
the
it was in Times
DA
Square in
don't
New
pardon
York.
people. I'm saying I don't think the police are
And
thinking
then
about that
nothing
while
happened to those
doing
guys.
their job.
They were let out, zero bail, and I think a bunch of them were given free tickets to California. Well, what is I mean, that is a gross indignity against the United States, and that's how, I mean, this is insane. Like, have we lost all pride? How can such a thing be allowed to occur?
I've never seen anything. You know, we see where they get shot. It's a very dangerous profession, but it's something they're very proud of, and they want to be
I
able
always
to do
thought
their
if
job.
Elon
But
has left,
I've seen them get shot. I've seen a lot
he
of things. But I've never
was,
seen where these
but
guys
he's
are standing in the
very
middle of a big
against,
street, everybody watching them, and
like,
they're literally boxing, like punching,
basically trans rights,
stand-up fighting.
and that is the main thing.
A police officer. There were two of them, and
Yeah.
yet about
That
6
I
of
think
these
is
guys, and they're
ideologically
punching
flipped
the
him.
hell out of them. And in their own country, they would be
And
dead
regulation.
if they did that. They'd be shot.
Yes.
They would be shot instantly. And you know, they come from these countries, and it's taking them a while to realize that we don't do that in this country. But in their own country,
Yeah.
if they stood on a street and had a fight with a police officer, they would be shot. There's no political correctness. And it's such a sad,
Yeah,
it's such a sad thing to see. And that's the reason you have crime, by the way, because we don't do anything about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we just cannot have a situation where our police officers are beaten up on camera by, you know, a gang of illegal immigrants, and then nothing happens to the guys that beat up the cops. I mean, and they're let out. This is unacceptable.
Well, we're going to change it, and we're going to get them out of the country. You know, when I first got involved, they said you couldn't get them back to these countries. You couldn't take them back. In the case of Guatemala,
Dude, the Sam video is really
Honduras,
heating up right now.
El Salvador, some others.
The
You couldn't
reverse
get them
is
back.
genius.
And I said, really? Oh, you can't get them back. Because under Obama, he couldn't get them back. They'd fly them in, and they'd put planes on the runways in these countries so you couldn't land a plane. They'd bring them back. And the generals told me, sir, we can't bring them back. The countries won't accept MS-13 gang members. They won't accept them. And I said, really, how much do we pay these various countries in terms of economic aid, which is also somewhat ridiculous? And the answer was $750 million. I said, good. Tell them they're in default. They're delinquent. We're not paying them anymore because they won't accept it. And you know what happened? They all called me, every one of them. They said, we would be honored to take them back, sir. We would be honored. It was so easy. But it's one of those things. And we got them back. We took in so many. You know, the MS-13 is probably the worst gangs in the world. They're the most vicious, violent. We took them out of here by the thousands and got them out of here. And their countries took them back. And because I said, you're not getting any more economic aid. And once I said that, they were nice. They wouldn't take them back for Obama. They wouldn't take them back
I stopped
for
listening.
anybody.
I'm watching the Sam video.
And
I
now
realize
we have
I'm
a
live
problem
streaming and I'm
because we have
just
this
watching
guy,
the video
and
about
they-
Sand.
Again, they don't take them back anymore with Biden because they don't respect him.
Yeah. It's just gotta be done. We just can't have you know, whether they're citizens or not citizens. We can't have, because they won't prosecute citizens either. Not just illegal.
Navix,
So,
stop.
if
300
can't
is
have
too many.
repeat violent offenders that are not.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Don't get incarcerated.
That's right.
Because they will obviously, by definition, continue to you know, hurt people. And I think where part of this comes from is that there's and I do sort of consider myself liberal in some ways. I mean, it's just that you want to have empathy for people. Obviously, you want to have empathy for people. I totally agree with that. You want to have empathy, but you also have to have empathy for the victims of the criminals. And if you just have empathy for the criminals, it's actually shallow empathy. It's not real. You're not thinking. You're one layer deep empathy. You got to say, like, what if you don't incarcerate this person? Who are they going to hurt? They might kill someone, they might rape someone. If you don't incarcerate them, you have to have empathy for the victims. And there's a lack of empathy for the victims of the criminals and too much empathy for the criminals. It doesn't make sense. That's why you want to have.
Is this like a mass
empathy
problem?
For society as a whole, not shallow empathy.
I don't
for
watch
criminals.
Fox News.
And we have to give our police officers the dignity and the respect that they deserve. And we
Is
have
migrant
to let them
crime
do their job. They can do a great job, but we have to let them do their
happening
job. And if we don't do
at
that,
such a high rate?
it's going to all It's going to all disappear. There's never been a society
And they are
like
all
this where
being pardoned.
you're allowed to do anything
That
you
this
want.
is the
and
number one
nothing
issue?
happens. And I'm talking about violent crime. And it's going to get more violent because these are really, really violent people. And we're going to get them out of our country, and we're going to get them back to where, because they were sent here by the presidents and by the various people that run those countries. And I know every one of those guys. And they're smart people, and they're streetwise people.
I think
And they
I'm
really
personally
think that
more concerned
the USA is stupid. They think we're run by stupid people, and they
about
happen to be
mass
right.
shooting than I
But
am
when I was there,
migrant
we
crime.
had no problem.
Currently.
We got them out. We took out thousands
Because I still
of
think
MS-13
about
gang members. We
mass
brought 'em
shooting
back.
when I'm at like a
And,
fucking
now,
sporting
again,
event or some shit.
It's the same old story. We don't do it. And they actually gave them a big increase in aid. They raised it up to billions of dollars, and they get nothing
It's
for it. So
generally
you know,
mostly an issue in New York.
I hope everybody's going to vote for Trump, and we're going to get this country straight.
Yeah.
And I didn't need this. I'm like you. I didn't need this. I had a very nice life. I didn't need to go through court systems and go through all the other stuff and run at the same time. I have to run. I have to go through fake trials with, in some cases, corrupt judges, totally corrupt judges. I didn't need it. I had a nice life. I have great locations. I have beautiful oceans that I have places. But I felt it was important. And if I had to do it over again, you probably think I'm crazy for doing it, actually. But if I had to do it over again, I would have done it over again, because this is so much
I would be
more
so
important
shocked
than
if you
me or
didn't
my
run
life.
again.
We're going to save this country. This country is going down, and these people are bad people that we're running against, and they're liars. They make statements. They do things that are so bad. They say they're going to make a strong border. They say they've been great on the border, and they've been the worst in history. They say they're going to stop crime.
Like, the facts speak for themselves.
It's so incredible.
Speak for themselves. Like it's gotten to the point where people just don't even bother reporting crime in a lot of cities because they know nothing is going to happen. That's what I hear anecdotally from people all the time. So it's just my values. I'm just saying to people out there, like the things I think are important for the future is like we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and so we can have a prosperous future, and then we want to have some exciting.
All right, we're gonna watch this after
projects that people can get
because the main point they made outside of his assassination attempt was incredible. Was RNC or them talking about migrant crime?
I'm not like I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry because they're keeping civilization going right now, and but I do think we want to move.
How much longer will this be? I'm hoping to end soon. I'm not even gonna lie.
Energy economy. Those are my values, and I think, and so I mean that's why I'm supporting you for president.
Well, I appreciate it. We're going to give incentive to companies to come into our country, not to leave our country. We're going to be giving tremendous incentives. We want companies to build here, not to build in other locations. And we want to create jobs. And again, it's about the American dream. You don't hear about the American dream anymore, Elon. You don't hear. You're the American dream in the truest sense. But you don't hear about the American dream anymore, and you're going to hear about it.
The American dream is being a YouTuber.
They need that incentive to go out and
the American dream is being a YouTuber,
and they're going to love their lives. I mean, they're going to look forward to getting up in the morning and going to a job that they love, not a job that they can't stand, or not any job at all where they have no money, where they literally have no money, and then they end up with violence and lots of other problems. No, we're going to do some great things. And I learned a lot in the first. We had a great economy and all of that. We rebuilt the military. We did so much, but I also learned the best people. I learned the good people, the smart people, the dumb people, the people that can do things.
The conversation's over.
When I first came in, I tell people I was in Washington, D.C. only 17 times, according to the fake news media.
You get cut off.
17 times. I never stayed over.
You can't break the record.
And you don't know people. You rely on other people
like 1,000.
to give you names, and then you realize the people you relied on weren't so good. Now, we had great people.
But we cut you off at 500
but we also had
600.
some where I wouldn't have used them had I known. Now I know everybody. And I think we're going to really turn things around fast. We have no choice. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country. And I really appreciate this. To me, it's been a lot of fun being with you. You're an amazing guy. You've done an incredible job and a great inspiration to people, a great inspiration. And I hope you keep going and just continue to do well. And we're going to have a big election coming up. And I think November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. I think that election will be the most important election, and I think it'll end up being maybe the most important day in the history of our country.
That's
Because
crazy to say.
if we don't win,
What
I
about
just
July
feel so sorry for
4th?
everybody.
No,
July
I think we're
4th was
at
a
fork in the
big
road
one.
of destiny of civilization.
That's like
And,
the day.
And I think we need to take the right path, and I think
Well, you can't
you're
take
the
the
right
most
path. So
American
that's what it comes
day.
down to.
Thank you very much, Elon. It's a great honor. And
Don't say 9/11.
We'll do it
Don't say
again
9/11.
sometime. And
That's
it's been really
wrong. You're
fun,
wrong
and
for that.
I hope you got
You're
a lot of
wrong for
viewers.
that.
I hear you got a lot, but I hope you got.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of them. So I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you very much. Bye.
And there it is. There it is. No outro? Elon's awkward ass couldn't handle that solo. There it is. My God. My God, that was a sweat. That was a long one. That was a long one, bro. Sheesh. We hit bingo one time. 3 hours, yeah. We hit bingo one time. Technically, we just hit it one time and one time only. Good old-fashioned bingo. We were close on a couple. The if they made fun of YouTube or TikTok, I thought it might happen. They didn't. They didn't bring it up. They didn't really talk about crypto. The interview did not get cut short. If anything, the opposite. They didn't even mention Cybertruck. All right. Well, look, the one thing, so there's basically 3 points, I feel like, to that debate. One was, damn, that assassination was so incredible. What an incredible assassination. Two, migrant crime is ruining America. And then 3, global warming is bad, but not that bad because it'll add some oceanfront property, but it's kind of bad, and maybe we should do something about it, maybe, and also maybe give me a job. But the second point is the one I find the most interesting because I know the least about. I've heard nothing about migrant crime. I don't watch. Look, man, I watch fucking VCT. I've not heard a single thing about this. Navix is still gifting me fucking subs by the troves. You crazy son of a bitch. So we're gonna watch this John Oliver video. John Oliver, friend of the stream. John Oliver, by the way. John Oliver, who has aired Mogul Chess Boxing on his show before. So if anyone's asking if this is an ethical react, he technically put our product in, so kind of allowed. I thought this was a song. It's 1 hour of silence interrupted by Pikmin. Yeah, I don't think he knows who I am, but his staff did put my video in one of his videos. So counts. That counts. All right, BRB. Oh, my leg. That was something. Thank you. He really left me in the spotlight. My shit, bro. You gave 400 gifted or some shit. I feel like that's a fair trade-off. All right, John, what you got for me? Getting the assassination attempt changed nothing about him. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. I can't play this. I can't play John Oliver. Are you surprised? Yeah, dude, me and John Oliver are fucking tight, bro.
The tone of this can
He literally put me in his broadcast. I just registered to vote today. That's good. You should vote if you can vote. I've voted in every election I can vote in. It's one of the few things we got. I live in California. Yeah, but like, there's not just the presidential election. I understand what you're saying, that like basically my vote is useless, but I don't think I mean, technically, if you want the most value out of your vote, you move to like, what's that state? Iowa? Is it Iowa that splits up their electoral? No, Nebraska, right? You move to Nebraska, who splits up their electoral votes. Where I think like 50,000 people are enough to swing it. Wyoming has the most power for your vote because the size of the state is the smallest by population, but Nebraska splits up their electoral college votes by district, which makes it even more valuable because you have the ability. If all of us in this chat right now, moved to Nebraska, we would be able to swing the vote in any direction we want. This is a yard bit? It is a yard bit. It's not a yard bit, it's a yard plan. We're taking back our Nebraskan electoral college votes. New video idea? I don't think I can support the housing and infrastructure necessary for 20,000 people to migrate to Nebraska. Buy us a compound? Okay, I have an idea. Hear me out. It's called the Ludwig Games. We find a football stadium in there. All right? There won't be a lot of water. You know, we'll go maybe some tampons, we'll see, but we all go in there. Uh-oh. We have a commune together. A gamer house. Yeah, a gamer house. A gamer village. They're selling a village in Maine for 1.3 million. I saw that. What?
Trump, folks, I don't have dentures. I'm just the goon commander.
Half a billion views and it came out in 2009? That gave me nothing.
Folks, I don't have dentures. I'm just the goon commander.
Holy shit, I thought that was part of the song. God, it went along to the beat so well. That's great. That's crazy. And that's 100% reason to remember the name, Fort Minor. Clocks? Owl City? That planet Earth turns slowly. I like to make myself believe. You would not believe your eyes. All right, chat, let's take a look at the Daily Dozen Trivia. What do we got? NFL, yes! When Tom Brady set an at-the-time NFL record with 50 touchdowns in 2007, this NFC East quarterback was second with 36. Fuck, what a fucked up question. Oh my god, what a fucked up question. In 2007, who was second NFC East? I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I don't even know who was playing in 2007. Was Rodgers playing? Is he in the NFC East? Or is that the NFC North? That's the NFC North, right? Yeah, because that's Vikings. Who's in the NFC East? The Eagles, the Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, and the fourth one that is the Eagles, the Commanders, the Giants, and God, it's such a shit division, man. It's the okay, so who is the quarterback of the Giants? Eli Manning. Who is the quarterback of the Eagles in 2007? Vic, right? Mike Vick. I have no idea who the quarterback of the Commanders were. They were ass. It wasn't that person. Who was the fourth team? Eagles, Commanders, Is it? It's not the Jets, is it? No, that's AFC East. Is it not the Ravens? No, that's AFC. The Steelers? The Steelers? No, that doesn't sound right. I don't know who it is. I'm going to guess this is Eli Manning, though. The answer is Eli Manning or Mike Vick. Now, obviously, it's not Mike Vick. So I'm going to go Eli Manning. Oh. Bro. Oh, it's the Cowboys. Wait, it's the Cowboys? Wait, what? The Cowboys are in the NFC East? Yeah, they are. And it was Tony Romo. I would have got there if I remembered. Man, I was really thinking geographically. Why the fuck are the Cowboys in the NFC East? Can you explain that? How are they not in the South? What is that even? What? They're in the NFC East? That's insane. Carlos Arroyo took over as the starting point guard of this Western Conference team in 2003 following the retirement of Hall of Fame point guard. I don't know. The 76ers. This is hard, bro. Ichiro Suzuki recorded his 3,000th hit. Ichiro Suzuki played for the Seattle Mariners. Cool. Which U.S. vice president served as Gerald Ford's chief of staff? I don't know, man. I don't know any of this at all, bro. I'm so mad. I don't know any of this. Which was Christina Perry. I don't know how I misclicked onto Christina. That was crazy, but all right. We got 3 out of 9. Chain restaurants, it was Bonefish Grill. I've never heard of it in my life. It was Harrison Ford and Jason Alexander. Okay, that makes sense. He does have those eyes. It was Dick Cheney. I would have never got there. It was the Miami Marlins. I feel like Mariners, Marlins were close. Utah Jazz. I don't know if I would have ever gotten there. And then Tony Romo, which I should have gotten. Okay. That's tough. I'll take 3, though. I'll take 3's not bad. 3's not bad. I can't believe it's not butter twin pack. 2 45-ounce containers of margarine. Margarine's cheap, no? $4.99. Okay. Fuck it. $7.99. We ball. I guess I'm not considering how much there is. $8.99. Final answer. It's $10. Okay. $8.49. I was thinking. What? Oh, $9.49. Fuck me. Beating my ass. I'd like to go from Guyana to Belize. I don't know if I'm the right guy for the job. I won't lie. I forgot Belize is in Central America. Okay, I am embarrassed. Okay, that's embarrassing. My bad there. Okay, I just got to name countries in Central America. First one, Guatemala. That's a good one. We got Guatemala. What are some of the big countries in Central America? Costa Rica. I already got that one. Ecuador. That's too far south. What the fuck is all this? Panama. Okay, we got Panama in there. We needed Panama. Guyana is in South America, so I need Colombia. And then to connect Colombia and Guyana, Venezuela's here, right? What country is getting fucked over by Colombia? Isn't it Ecuador? Is this Venezuela? Oh, it is Venezuela. Okay. All right. So now I just need to connect Costa Rica to El Salvador to get to Belize. Okay, that's doable. This is doable. So we've made our way through. We've navigated through. There's Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, something with an E. Let's just throw out the E and scroll on through, see if we find anything nice. Estonia. No. El Salvador. I already guessed it. Okay. Back to my E's. We are out of E's. Ah. It's a D. It starts with a D. No, it fucking doesn't. No, it doesn't at all, even a little bit. Is it the Dominican Republic? No. That's an island. Fuck! I don't know. I don't know. If I was playing GeoGuessr and Guatemala was here, what other country would come up? What is the largest country? I don't know. I don't know. I looked at the chat. It's Nicaragua. It's Nicaragua and Honduras. Fuck. Nicaragua and Honduras. And look at this horrible guess over here. South Sudan. I looked. I peeked. I peeked. I can't unpeek. It is what it is. All right. Whoa. This is just American. You're talking about a fucking club? This is a club sandwich. It's as American as it gets, baby. Love me a club sandwich. Delicious. Club sandwiches are great. That is a paella. A Spanish dish, no? It is similar to the paella, but it is made with pasta noodles instead of rice. Okay. Fedue. This ain't a meal. What? Oh, I thought this was just... What is this? Cornmeal yuca, potato bath... I don't know why I said bath. Cornmeal yuca, potato, water, butter, salt. This is just a Mexican dish, no? Cool. Start by soaking corn, yuca, or potato, grinding it to a dough, mix it with butter, salt, sometimes cheese or coconut, form the mixture into cylindrical shapes and wrap them tightly in corn husks. I think I'm just thinking of a tamale because it's wrapped in corn husks. Banana leaves is a game changer. Banana leaves. Is it Brazilian? It borders Brazil. It borders Brazil northwest. Is it a Colombian dish? Yes. Bolo. Bolo. All right. 14,000 is pretty good. I mean, I'll say it was an easier day. I'll say that much, but... All right. I want revenge because I could have gotten a perfect score in Movie Guesser yesterday, but I choked. So let's try it today. Kate Blanchett. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Timothy Chalamet, easy. Don Cheadle, easy. Double letter in the title. So 2 words back to back. I got you. I got you. Don't look up. Boom. There we go. Kate Blanchett. What are you in? Title starts with A through H. We're going to go Hotel Rwanda for Don Cheadle. 3 or more word title. We're going to go for Dune. And then we're going to cheat. We're going to go Dune Part 2. Nice. Timothy Chalamet, done. Done. Don Cheadle is in Iron Man. But I don't think that is a double word, and it also isn't a 3 or more word movie title. So we can't really use Iron Man for either. Is Don Cheadle in the original Avengers? Is he in Infinity War? He is. Okay, great. Thank you, Don Cheadle. Is he in another Avengers movie with a double letter? Is a good question. Or how about Iron Man Is he in a Captain America? Okay, let's switch over to Kate Blanchett. Double letter in the title. A Kate Blanchett movie. What the fuck is a Kate Blanchett movie? I don't know. I don't know what Kate Blanchett... Is she in Four Christmases? Is she in that? Okay. This is going to be tough. I don't know what the fuck she's in. Was she the one who's... I think I'm just thinking of a different actress. Not Nanny McPhee. God, what's that movie called? It's about this British woman. What the fuck is Kate Blanchett in? I got nothing for Kate. 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 Kate cooks me. She's in the Lord of the Rings? What? We're not thinking of the same person. I don't know why I didn't go Oceans. That would have been fucking obvious. I should have kept going on Don Cheadle. I just got panicked by Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett is an Australian? What? She's in The Aviator, Tar, Carol, Blue Jasmine, I'm Not There, The Golden Age, Notes on a Scandal, and Elizabeth. You know what's crazy? I haven't seen one of these movies. I haven't seen one. That's fucked up. I feel like I should have seen one. But nope. I've seen Lord of the Rings. Is she the elf lady? Princess Irulan? That's not what it's called. She's Galadriel. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, bam, boom. All right, chat. Chat, 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 chat. Chat, chat, chat. Chat, chat, chat. Chat. Here's my game plan for the rest of the week. I want to do the Q&A tomorrow. We're going to do a Q&A, and I must answer honestly tomorrow. That's my game plan. If I don't answer honestly, I will spin the wheel of death, and we'll have a wheel with different punishments. That'll be tomorrow. When are you baking croissants with Cutie? Probably after Streamer Games. Which, by the way, if you didn't see, we did announce some of the new, or some of the competitions for Streamer Games. Here it is. The events have been announced for Streamer Games. I'm going to announce new teams tomorrow. Will you be doing the Q&A? When will you be doing the Q&A? I have the yard probably starting at 6, I would guess. Do you know who's commentating? Yes, I do know who's commentating. I'll probably announce that tomorrow. Actually, I think the commentators are very cool. I think we got some good commentators. The tungsten cube toss is going to fucking rip some people's shoulders out of their sockets, straight up. Straight up, I'm excited for it. Well, I actually don't want that to happen for real, but I do think it'll be fun, regardless. Also, thank you everyone who watched my last YouTube video. It got like 2 million views in a few days, which is pretty crazy for the channel. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Avocado Fry Pan, for the 50 gifted, bro. Can I make a surprise appearance in the game? Yeah, absolutely. All you have to do is go to streamergames.gg. We are selling tickets there if you want to buy some tickets. You can attend. It's $50 for both days, and you get about 7 hours of IRL viewing experience. So, when is Porter video? I gotta bump him. I'm waiting on him to reply to me. You feel? Not the other way around. He's not waiting on me. I'm waiting on him. Yeah, that's right. That sentence is right. All right, that's the game plan. I will be doing a members only stream right now. Actually, I'll probably be doing 2 members only streams tonight. The first one, we're going to talk about Perfect Blue for our Parasocial Movie Club right now for about 30 minutes. So if you guys watched the movie Perfect Blue, we're going to be discussing it. And then after, at 9, me and Sade's going to be playing Valo on the member-only stream for all members. So if you're in the Parasocial Club and you watched Perfect Blue and you want to talk about Perfect Blue, we're going to talk about Perfect Blue. And then Valo at 9. Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for watching today. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the gifted very much. Navix for gifting, I don't even know how many. 400 or some shit. It was a crazy amount. I want to do the Q&A today. Sorry I didn't do it today, but I really wanted to watch that conversation. And so I decided to do that. That was basically it. I just wanted to make sure that I watched it. But anyway, appreciate you all. Do a Val stream earlier in the day. It's hard on Mondays and Tuesdays because I have the yard. I'll almost never stream earlier on Mondays and Tuesdays. Earlier streams will usually happen on weekends. It'll happen on weekends. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for hanging out today. If I see you in the Valor stream, dope. If I see you in the Parasocial Club stream, dope. If I see you in neither, dope. I will see you all tomorrow regardless. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And that's it. Goodbye. See you later, y'all. Goodbye. Peace out. Peace out. Goodbye. Have a good night. I'm now fading to black. My final message. Goodbye. Peace.